This is Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. This is Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk.
All right. Welcome to another edition of the Real Talk Podcast, Real Talk Interview Edition. And today, we have a very, very special guest on deck for y'all today. Y'all know how I do with the Real Talk interview. Real Talk interview is simply this. I interview people I find interesting, I find fun, I can talk to. I don't really care about y'all's opinions about whether or not y'all find them fun or not. This interview session is really for me and for y'all to get just a little insight in some folks I find humorous or I find enlightening or whatever the case may be. And today we got a special one for y'all today. This is one of the people who has known me for quite some time. We have been friends for 20-something years. Since 1999. They put that. Y'all do the math. I ain't doing the math. Since 1999. She was my former tutor back at the Ohio University. Unsuccessful, not her fault, but it's my fault. Actually, it's OU's fault, but that's a whole other story for a whole other day. We might even get into some of that. She is outstanding. She is intelligent. She is amazing. She is awesome. Her name gives you the understanding of just who she is. She is the one and only Magnificent.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. Yes. You ready?
Yeah, for the record, he passed the class I tutored him in. I just want to say that. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. You tutored me in calculus, and I failed miserably. But it had nothing to do with you. I mean, I still know calculus to save my life, but it had nothing to do with you. It was not your fault. It was my professor's fault. So the same. Before we get into this, since this is brought up, since she said and she knows this story, I don't know why she act like she don't.
It's been a while.
Right after, as she was tutoring me, we were dealing with finals. No, it's midterms. I'm sorry, it was midterms, and the professor is writing on the board everything that we need to go over for midterms. We have been in this class for 30 of the 45 minutes we're supposed to be in here, with him writing on the board and us taking notes as to what we need to study for this doggone midterm, which was 60-something% of our grade. So if you failed this midterm, you probably failed the class, right? He stops, looks at the board, and says, "Everybody put your pencils down. I must apologize to you all. I was writing in Russian. None of this is going to do you any good. So just study for the midterm and good luck." 3/4 of the class failed that midterm. Yeah, I'll never forget that. So it wasn't really Mag's fault, but at the same time, she was still my tutor.
You might be the only one. But that's crazy.
The class I came close to passing that you also tutored me in was electrical engineering. But you stopped tutoring me halfway through because your schedule got busy.
Yeah, I was taking up I was doing chemical engineering, so everything got crazy.
All right, so you ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
All right, so here's the first question, because so many people, I didn't realize until I posted the flyer how many people would go ape for the fact that you're being interviewed. You don't really have, you got a social media presence, but not really.
Right.
Most of what has been posted is either you are posting pictures from a trip that you took 4 months before.
Absolutely. You don't get to know I'm traveling while I'm traveling. That's crazy.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not upset what you're doing. I'm just giving folks
photos. You don't need
right. So there's pictures of that. There's all kinds of stuff about your amazing son, my godson, tremendous. Yes. So there's all kinds of stuff about that, but there's not anything real about you. And lots of people who knew you back in college, who had a relationship with you just after college, that one or both of us are friends with on Facebook. When I tell you, these folks have gone ape knowing that you were getting interviewed. First of all, I think some of them were like, oh my gosh, she's still alive, because I don't hear nothing from her. But it's gone crazy. It's insane. So here's how we're going to start this out. Because a lot of folks, even those who know you, don't know early you. So we're going to start with early you. So my first question is a nice general, ease you into the Real Talk podcast interview type question. Tell us about Magnificent as a child, and what are some of the most interesting things about your childhood?
Okay. Let's see. As a child, I was super talkative. Still am, right? But put that on like 20. Whatever you think I'm talkative now, multiply that exponentially. I started walking at 1.5. I was talking fully in sentences by 2. I would learn to spell my name at 2. All those fun things, right? My dad raised me. So my dad was my primary person, and my grandmother raised me. So a lot of people don't know that. My mom did not raise me. They were married, and then they got divorced because things happen. And my dad got custody. So very strict military guy. I had rules on top of rules. One of the things he used to say is, and I used it with my son, but one of them was like, you know you're doing it right when your teenager hates you. And the best thing you can do is not give your teenager any chance to think, because every thought they have is judged by hormones. So they shouldn't have any time to think. So it gives you a little window. I did piano from 4 to like 18. I was in ballet. I was in theater. I was in a color.
Hold on, push pause. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish, but hold on, because you actually hit something I actually didn't know. I knew that you had done, but I did not know you had done piano. Hold on. You play?
From the time I was 4, I can read music very well. I can't hear for shit, you know.
Can you still play? Do you still dabble a little bit?
Yeah, I do. The latest stuff I was playing probably maybe like a few months ago was Alicia Keys. I was playing her Fallen because I got her sheet music. So I played on that. I can play that.
Oh, you gonna have to play. I know you can't do that now on the pod, but I promise I got to get a video of you playing. I did not know that. Like so much I know that I know about, but I did not know you. Holy smokes! Okay, I'm good. Go on. I just had to. When I heard, I had to hear it twice in my head to make sure I heard what I heard.
I did cheerleading. I did lacrosse. I did horseback riding. My 12th birthday. Was it my 12th? We're going to say 12th. It might have really been my 14th. I think it was my 12th, though. I flew a plane. My dad took me out on a Cessna. He surprised me. That was his thing. It was like, you're doing this. I couldn't say no. So I didn't know, and this is a real story, I didn't know that as a kid you could say no to your parents. Like, I don't want to do that. Even when they asked, I didn't think it was like asking. I thought it was a nice way of telling you, voluntold.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this until my cousin was about, like, 12, and he's 6 years younger than me. He might have been, like, 10 when he started saying no. And I was like, you can't say no. And he was like, I'm saying no. I was like, and they were all like, okay, well, we won't make you do it. And I looked at my dad and I looked at my grandmother like, it was optional? Like, all of that was optional? I played tennis one summer, the whole tennis at 5 a.m. Hated it. I begged to quit every day and they wouldn't let me. I'm like, I had options in this. So one of his rules in high school was that I had to have a sport and an extracurricular. So give you a little bit, I was in math triathlon, I was in everything. You name it, I did it. That was like my childhood growing up. So a lot of fun. Loved, still had a real creative mind, loved learning, always have. But I didn't like reading until 9th grade. A friend of my grandmother was a teacher. A friend of hers who was also a teacher said, you don't like to read? And I was like, I hate reading. My dad just makes me, and if I get in trouble, if I don't read and I get anything less than an A, I'm going to get in trouble. So I read because I have to, but I hate it. She was like, you just haven't found the right books. And she hit me to Eric Jerome Dickey, who ended up being my favorite author to this day. And I ended up learning to love books. Real talk. That's how I learned to be a avid book reader. But that wasn't until 9th grade. From, 3rd grade to 9th grade, I read all the time because I had to and hated it. So, real facts.
That's crazy because we're the opposite of that. I loved to read until 9th grade. It was killed for me. My English literature teacher, Mr. Zmianik, and I'm going to call him out because he ain't never going to see this no way. He's a great dude. Wonderful dude. Irritating, piece of garbage, but a great dude at the same time. Like when you were a freshman, you came into his class and he had stacks of yellow paper and stacks of white paper. Came into his class as a freshman, he would say, "Don't touch the white paper. That's big people paper. You don't get big people paper. You're little people. You don't get to touch big people paper until I tell you you're a big people."
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's him. But he's wonderfully disciplined. Wound up being my football coach as well. Good dude, but I also hate him as my English teacher. So he had us reading these short stories, and one of them was Lenigan versus the Ants. I will never forget this stupid, ignorant, trifling short story that destroyed my love for reading. No, because as a kid, I would go to the library, which was right down. Part of the reason I loved the library when I was a kid was because it had my last name, the B.F. Jones Library. I was like, I'm going to. I didn't realize it was a white person. I just knew my last name was Jones.
All right.
His Jones. We cool. I'm supporting Jones. So I would come home with 48 books at a time and read them in weeks. And so I just loved reading. But then came Lenigan versus the Ants. It's a stupid story about this guy who, I guess they're in Brazil or whatever, in this village. And every year around the same time, these big freaking ants are migrating, and they migrate through their land. And as they migrate through their land, they're tearing up the crops, eating up everything, and leaving the place desolate. Every year, these people know what's coming, and they leave and come back when the migration is over. Which is also stupid, because if you're leaving, you have a place to go to.
Absolutely.
Why don't you stay there? But anyway, they come back. So Lenigan decides this one year, I'm not taking it no more. I'm not leaving. I'm standing my ground. Bump these ants. I'm not leaving. This is my stuff. Long story short, he spends the entire short story fighting these ants. And you know how he kills them all off? He floods the freaking land and destroys everything anyway.
Aw.
So
horrible.
you did all of that, risked your stupid life for the exact same outcome.
But people do that every day in life. See, that prepared you to be a counselor for people in real life.
And
Tell them what to do.
and people piss me off when they do that too. The other one that was right with it was The Lady and the Tiger. That's the other one I hate. We read these back to back. Lady and Tiger.
Remember, it is cute.
Oh, because that's how bad they were. I can't even remember my favorite book, but I remember these two short stories. The Lady and the Tiger is a stupid story where this princess falls in love with a peasant. They get together. The king finds out about it. He don't like it, so he throws him in the arena. They have these games in the arena where the person can pick one of two doors. Mm-hmm. Now, the only people who know what's behind each door are the royal family. So he knows this, so he's looking to the princess to tell him what door to pick, because behind one door is a tiger,
Right.
behind the other door is a lady, and if he gets the lady, he has to marry the lady.
So he's wanting what, the tiger?
He's going to trust her. Either you love me so much that you're going to watch me die and no one else can have me, or you love me so much you would rather let me go and see me in the arms of another than see me dead.
Oh, you need to pick the opposite. She was going to kill him. She ain't letting him get with that woman.
Here's the problem. We have no idea. Because the story ends with the princess pointing to our door. And then the author says, you tell us which door she picked. What the hell? I didn't write this book. Why I got to finish your work? You did this. Finish your story. Back to back. That destroyed my love for it. I stopped loving to read. I only now read if I have to. I have no love for reading anymore. Hate it with a passion. So it's interesting that you fell in love with reading at ninth grade, and my love for reading was killed in the ninth grade.
Oh, man. Yeah. You just haven't read the right books, though. I think if you find that
I
one,
used to. I had read all of them. 48 books
I know.
every 3 weeks.
I know.
Literally, I am this big at 7 years old,
That's
carrying 48 books from B.F. Jones Library to my house.
Yeah, because summer
Reading
reading was
them.
real. Remember you were in the summer book club? I used to read so many
Yes.
books in summer book club. And I'm competitive, so I had to win. But remember, I didn't like reading, so it was a good game.
I had to win. I also loved the pizza parties that you could get from being the class that read the most. I love Book It, so I can get my little Pizza Hut pepperoni personal pizzas. Loved them. Loved all of that. Ninth
Okay,
grade, killed it all.
stupid fact, but fun fact. I used to win all these awards for reading, and then my parents, we went out of they cooked or we went out, and I didn't need them. I'd always forget, but I wanted to win them, so they would go to waste. I started giving them away at the end because I was like, oh yeah, they're
You
not.
should never get. You should have sold them. Don't give them away. Sell them. You had a business right there.
I know, but I was kind-hearted until 8th grade.
You're still kind-hearted.
To some.
It's the look to the side.
I got a mean streak a mile long.
I mean, that's most people, but I mean, your mean streak is a little different.
Yeah, my mean streak is off the chain. I am so nice until I'm not, and then that's Virgo tendencies, and then we can both just go to hell together. And I think I think I'm fire resistant, so it's fun to play in that world sometimes. It's not good, it's not healthy, but it's fun.
There is a cartoon I remember from on the Animaniacs called Katie Kaboom.
Oh, I think I saw that one. I love Animaniacs.
You are Katie Kaboom.
Probably.
You're good, but when you explode, boom, and take everything that's near.
Wipe out. I'm okay with that.
And once you're done, you're back to sweet and everything is, yeah,
Not with
okay.
that person. It's crossed off.
No, I just mean sweet, period.
Yeah, that's true. But it's amazing how I thought that I was burning some bridges, like blowing them up. Like it's,
Mm-hmm.
this is bad. And people started to rebuild new ones. I'm like, dude, you didn't learn your lesson, or from when we had the last explosion. I think you're still carrying some shrapnel with you. Like let the shrapnel, like let this go. We shouldn't be friends. They're like, no, we should be friends. No. I couldn't be friends with me after some of the stuff I did. I'd be like, yeah, we're not friends. They like, I provoked you because they know how good I was. And then they'd be like, we can be friends, but I don't want to make you mad anymore.
So here's the thing. You couldn't be friends with you not because of the stuff that you've done. Like if you did to you what you've done to other people, that's not why you couldn't be friends with you. You couldn't be friends with you because you're vengeful. So if you had done the stuff to you that you've done to others, you would then try to think of worse stuff to do back to you for what you've done to you.
I never strike first, so they had to hit me first. I'm always getting my lick back. I don't really go after people, and as a matter of fact, I have rules. Like the first time you do something to me, everybody play the fool sometimes. Let's just call it an even. Walk away. I'm no hard feelings. I don't even want to get a lick back. Shit happens. It's good. We're good. We're just not meant to be in the same airspace. You go your way, I go my way. It's when you come back and now it's intentional. Now you intentionally trying to fuck me over. Like that's different. I have a right to defend myself at that point. I let you get away one time. You came back and then convinced me, because it's not easy to get back in my inner circle. So you had to convince me that you were worth the spin around the block or whatever, and that is not. Yeah, then it's all fair. Mm-hmm.
But you're proving my point, because if you had done to you what was done to you,
I would never do that.
But in the hypothetical world, if you had done to you what you've done to others, the you that got it done to is now going to retaliate and do worse. It's going to be nukes being dropped back and forth. It's that's the only reason why you couldn't be friends with you. Because aside of that, you'd be the one whispering in your own ear, hey, that's not bad enough. You need to go a little further. Go. Hey, go a little further. You ain't heard him enough yet. Get him. You'd be looking for somebody to say, okay, you're done. They're good. No, you're not. Screw them. Get it.
I do need to see the pain. I am one of those that I can't go too far, especially if I don't. Because people try to act like it's not affecting them, so it can't go too far. Immature and older, I was worse when I was younger. The older I get, the harder it is. It's just you see the signs long before then. So the good news is, the older I get, the harder it is to get me to have any kind of emotional high like that and go bananas. It's just not happening. I'm not letting you get me out of my peace, my zen.
I get it. All right, let's go on to this.
Doug me was crazy.
Oh, I've
She's
heard
still
some
in there somewhere.
stories.
She's still in there somewhere. Yeah, my
Oh
chef.
no, she's down there. She's down there running the prison. That's what's going on. You thought you had her locked up, but now she's running the prison, just waiting on the time frame where she gets to walk out the door. She ain't going to escape.
Don't
She's
be
going to walk
wishing
out the
that on
door.
me. Wish me good. I'm gonna be happy and
I do
vengeful.
wish you good. I do wish you good.
If somebody
I
do
didn't.
me
I
that
didn't say
bad,
she. I didn't say she coming out. I just said she's running the prison, waiting on the opportunity to walk out because she's not going to escape. She's just going to walk out. She's the one. You ever see the movie where people's in prison and there's always that one prisoner who's got like the flat screen television and the record player and the rugs and the candles and all the stuff you're not supposed to have, and guards are handing cell phones and stuff. That's you. That's you in prison. That's the you that out there just running everything. The warden is even scared of you right now.
I'm there because I choose to be that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't do interviews with friends, everybody. Don't see, you know, have me tell you stuff. All right. What's the
Of
next
course.
question?
That's what makes this fun for me. So here's the next question. Here's the next question on the doc. And I'm sure you've probably been asked this one a million times, but it's an interesting enough question that those who don't know you, who are fans of the Real Talk podcast or Real Talk interview, will find intriguing because I don't think they think that this is real. Okay. So, you have one of the most intriguing and interesting names on the face of the planet. That's a normal name. Well, not a normal name, but it's not like some crazy stripper name or something like that, right? So but it is unique. So, what was the reasoning your parents gave, if any, for naming you Magnificent? And along with that, have you ever given any thought to how unique and how much pressure can come with a name like that?
I don't know. I'm going to answer all of this. But first, I'm going to start with when I was 16 to like 16 to 18, often during that weird range of time, I got asked all the time, is this your stripper name? So you say it's not a stripper name. I didn't think it was either until I turned like 16. And I was like, what? No. They like, you dance, right? I'm like, no.
That would be the worst stripper name ever. You have to add something after it. Either something before it or something after it. It can't just be Magnificent. It has to be like Magnificent Boobies or you know,
Tina Marie.
It's got to be something. But go ahead.
Yeah, there is a reason there is a story behind my name. So my dad named me fully. So my mom's name is Tuesday, and she didn't want any kids to have
I know Tuesday
name. She's named. I thought she was named after the day of the week because I was young, but she's actually named after the actress Tuesday Wells. Her father had like a crush. I don't even know what woman would allow their man to do that. To tell you a little bit about my grandmother being crazy, because you tell me you got a crush on an actress and then you try to name our daughter that, I'm like, no. But she said yes. So my mom's name after Tuesday Wells. She was Tuesday. Fast forward, and she had just had me. So while she's in labor, I guess I got to go further back. She's in labor, and he is in the room, and the doctor let him cut the umbilical cord and all that. And somewhere in the process, he says, that's magnificent, talking about the experience of giving childbirth. But his mind is, he was very verbose. So his words and some of his phrases he's used are amazing. So I still steal most of them to today. So as he's thinking on this, he decides somewhere after that that's going to be my name. During that time, they still put babies all together in one room, and they gave you a pink blanket and pink things, and gave you a pink card or a all blue and blue cards. So he grabbed a pink card off the nurse's station and came in. My mom was maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes outside of labor, and she's exhausted. And he writes down Magnificent Nikita Stokes. So that's, I was born that. So my dad's name is Keith. I'm an 80s baby. Early 80s. And so there you go. I was born in 80s. So there you have all of that, right? So Magnificent Nikita Stokes. And my mom sees it, and she tears up the paper like, you crazy, and throws it back at him and is done with it. So he goes and gets the whole stack of nurses' cards, 1,000 of them, whatever it is. He comes back and sits down and is like, we're doing this all day. And he starts writing it the same name again, and she looks over and she signs. She tells him he's crazy, but signs that one. And that's how I ended up with my name.
He's persistent. I love it. I love
He
it.
was changing it. Trey, my son, got his name.
I was going to that. Yeah.
Because everybody asked, so I thought I'd just go. So I don't even know at what age my dad started trying to push for Marvelous. He always wanted a Marvelous if he had another kid, but he didn't have any more. So he's like sitting there like, I really want a baby to be named Marvelous. So he first started on my uncle. I remember my uncle getting mad, so mad that my cousin has my father's middle name to appease my dad. Like, I'm not naming him Keith, or I'm not naming him Marvelous. I'll name him Marlon. That's how Marlon got his name, because my dad harassed his younger baby brother so much that he was like, nobody ain't naming a kid Marvelous. But I was 14, and I remember promising him I would name my child an adjective. I was like, I don't like Marvelous, because I didn't like Magnificent at the time. And I didn't have a nickname, not really. So I was like, this is not it. So I was like, I'm going to give my child a nickname everybody can share, and not like a little family. So I was like, it's not going to be Marvelous, because Marv wasn't working. So I decided on Tremendous. As a matter of fact, I came up with names for all my kids and wrote it in a book when I was like 14. But fast forward, I only have the one, so it's only going to be Tremendous. And he goes by Trey. And so that's how he got his name. So when I ended up, getting married, having kids, I knew. And I told Charles, which was my first husband, I told him, we're going to name him Tremendous. And he was like, okay. When we were still in our early talking phase, he said, okay. And I was like, no, I'm serious. And he was like, okay. When we actually had our child, like 7 years later, he was like, you were serious. I was like, I was serious. So that's how Trey got his name. Oh, mainly because my dad wanted an adjective. Because otherwise I would have thought of something different. So you asked if I ever had, if I liked my name. Or if I knew it was unique. Absolutely knew it was unique, because Romper Room was on, and I could never hear my name on Romper Room. And I remember crying to my dad, like in tears. Romper Room and Friends, right? And I see Billy and Sarah and Jane in that stupid mirror. And I was like, they never say my name. And I was like in full on tears. And he was like, your name is unique. I was like, it's not. It's Magnificent. Because remember, I could talk. So it was really hilarious. So, and I knew
I
a
can
lot
so
of
see
words.
that.
It was stupid. But I grew up knowing that I had an unusual name. And what the meaning of it was, I just hated it for like around teenage years. And then I spent 4 months, about 4 months, pretending my name was something else. As a matter of fact, I chose this name, Teresa, because it was a girl I knew that I looked up to. Her name was Teresa, and I liked her. So I was like, not like that, but it could have been like that, and I ain't know back then, but whatever. I liked her, so I was like, oh, I'm going to just say Teresa. So we were in the mall, and you remember back then, malls were real. So it was Randall Park Mall. It's closed down now. But you would walk around the mall as a teenager. Your parents would go. My parents were strict, so I couldn't take the bus. They literally were still in the mall somewhere, and I'd just get some time to walk around. And guys would come up and approach you when you still had payphones. That's how old I am. Anyway, they come up and approach you and ask you for your name and your phone number and a pager. I had a pager, so I would say, I remember telling, so I didn't want to say the whole, what's your real name? No, really your name. Oh, I see you don't want to give it to me. Forget it then. I didn't want any of that. So I remember saying I'd use two names. Once I used Sarah and once I used Teresa. Teresa kind of stuck. So I remember telling him my name was Teresa. So gave him my real phone number somehow. So he's calling the house phone. And my dad flipped out, let a few, I don't know, we got away with it for a minute with nobody knowing, but parents answered the phone. So he had to say, hello, hi, can I speak to Teresa? And the nicer you word it was. So a few times my dad hung up. So finally I was like, no, I'm Teresa. And my dad looks over at me and, what? I was like, no, it's me. Just give me the phone, please. And he was like, okay, it threw him off. So he gave me the phone. So afterwards, he was thinking about it, but didn't say anything. He finally said, I don't really like that. I said, well, just let it go, please, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to say my real name. He's like, okay. So 3 months into this, he comes home one day, and he's like, I didn't name you Teresa. You have two options. Tell him your name or tell him not to call anymore. I don't care which one. It needs to happen tonight. By tomorrow, he can't call anymore under Teresa or you're grounded. And then, walked off, and I'm like, all messed up. I ended up telling him my real name. The funny thing was, I thought he was going to call me, tell me I was lying. He was like, that makes a lot of sense, because some guy, your dad, I think he would say Magnificent after saying, yeah, hold on 1 second. And I was like, who is he calling? He was like, and some people would hang up on me and say, you have the wrong number. I was like, oh, so it went easier than I thought. So one guy, his name was Jason. I don't even know why I'm calling him out. I gave him my real name, and I don't remember the other dude, but he got told he couldn't call anymore. This is before you got fucked. And I remember telling him, if he calls me ever again, I'm calling his mom and telling her that he called me, because I will get grounded. Like, I never told him my name. He probably still out there thinking I'm Teresa. But I never used the fake name again because I was like, sweating bullets. I was like, forget it.
Hmm.
I'll just be me. And so I started liking my name probably around 20, 18, 19, 20. And now I like it.
Well, it flows nicely into my next question. Uh, would you like your name because of the pressure that can be associated with that? Because magnificent is not something that is average.
Yeah.
And to
My dad
anyone who
did used
knows,
to say a great name is, he quoted the Bible. Great name is rather to
Mhm.
be chosen than great riches. But he also really instilled with me that it's okay to fail. So it wasn't achievable. But even if I came close and that grew anywhere near there, I would be fine. And so I think that it sets you up to be successful and reach for things and strive for something better. But I was totally okay with never being able to achieve that. And I think that you just grow greater later. He used to say that all the time too. So each day build on you, try to improve, and that's a
Mhm.
great goal. And I think if I just do that, I'm very happy.
Okay. So anybody who knows you for real knows you are highly intelligent. And I emphasize highly for anyone who ever has a conversation with this woman. She winds up pulling out facts and statements and stuff that you're like, why do you know this? And then you find out that she reads everything. And then you realize, oh, this is why you know this. So, how many degrees do you actually have? And what
Three.
are they? Okay.
So
Let's
I
start with
told you
that.
guys I have a bachelor in chemical engineering. I have a bachelor in engineering management. I have an MBA. I mean, I have a master's in engineering management, and I have an MBA.
See what I mean, y'all? I talked. So three heavy. I don't think people understand. First of all, and this isn't my follow up to that because I have a follow up, but I don't think people understand. And I to a lesser degree, trying to have been in electrical engineering because I really wanted to be a computer engineering major, and they didn't have it there. They had me go through electrical engineering and told me I could parallel the two, which is stupid. Anyway, I kind of understand the level of intellect it takes to be a chemical engineer, but on top of that, like to be a black woman who is successful as a chemical engineer. I y'all don't kill me. I know there's a lot of black women who do it or whatever. But let's not act like you can name three. So I can name one, and I'm real good friends with her. So like that is something to really hang your hat on. If you did nothing else in life, that right there is something to hang your hat on because there's not many of you walking around the earth just well, at least the United States anyway, just able to talk. First of all, I'm a chemical engineer. I got that. I did that. And from what it looked like on the electrical engineering side, having been tutored by you, did it with ease. Not that you didn't have to work at it, but still did it with ease. Just keep it a buck. So like that is an outstanding accomplishment in itself, and then you couple that with two others. Let's not downplay that. But while we're not downplaying that, let's also understand that what that means is that education was highly important in your life growing up. And you already answered it, but I want to go back to it for just a moment. As how much was education emphasized growing up? Like how heavy was that in your youth?
So we never. Okay. Oddly enough, we did not spend much time talking about college. It wasn't there. I think when I was little, like 4 or 5, maybe, yeah, kindergarten, first grade, because I went to kindergarten at 4. So I knew college was important then, but no one ever said you have to go. It was just already in there. Like I was like, I'm going to college, and it was just understood that your life would be better if you went to college. But I don't remember ever getting like lectures on you have to go to college. I do get lectures on how important education in general was, making sure you learn something new every day, making sure you don't waste an opportunity. If you're going to be there, might as well be present, might as well get the most out of it. Those kinds of things. And I was an only child, so school became books and things were easy. They were like I had real friends too. I went outside today, but they were friends, so I really enjoy, and I was always around adults too, so I really enjoyed learning because everything was at a higher level. Naturally, if you're 4, 5, 6, 7 around all nothing but adults. So it's not like you think like you have to go, you have to go. I don't think that that works. I didn't do that with Trey either. It's just you embed it in your everyday culture. So we read every day. When I was little, my dad read books to me. When I got older, I read books with him. He would read with me. We alternate pages until the point where I would read on my own. When I hated reading, that's a little different. He'd read the book too on his own just to test me, but that's a different thing. But it was just understood failure and mediocrity wasn't going to be accepted. It was not accepted. So that I couldn't bring home B's and C's, like that was never happening. You needed to get A's, and so to strive for A's, that wasn't that hard, and I excelled at it. It was kind of easy. So that's kind of where the expectation came. But then you just slowly build that foundation. Next thing you know, you're in middle school, and then you're in high school. And then you're starting to think about what do you want to do in your future? And those were the kind of questions they asked. And that drives you to say, okay, well, at the time I thought I wanted to be a product review engineer. My dad was a recruiter, an executive recruiter. And so he used to come home talking stories about some jobs he would give people and what they were. And I got a chance to like follow him around on whatever, follow your parents to work day, and do a couple job shadows of other people. And I really latched onto that job. So that's what I thought I wanted to do. And that set up, well, how do you get to do that? You got to go get an engineering degree and then build on top of that with a professional engineering degree at the time, I thought. So that was the trek that I thought I was going to take. But life is what happens when you're making plans. So very important. My grandmother was a teacher and educator, but not like you would think, like you have to go to college and you have to do this and you have to get a master's. We didn't even talk about it. My grandmother had a degree. My dad had a degree. We just... it was just expected, and you kind of lived up to the expectation.
Interesting, because again, we're kind of the opposite in that way, where college was not an option in my house. Well, it was, but it wasn't. It was, you have 3 options once you graduate high school. You go to college, go to military, go get a job, but you're gonna go. Like, what's not going to happen is you're going to be just sitting around here. You're going to go do something. We prefer college. My mother went to college, but she didn't graduate. My father got a GED in his adult life. So college wasn't even in his foresight. My dad was a thug. He's wonderful thug, but he was a thug. Up until he met Christ in the whole nine, got saved, church in the whole nine. So it was in my house like, no, we prefer you to go to college. You will not be stupid. Like, we don't take stupid. We will take a hard B, but we want you to have A's. This is an honor roll household. If you got a C, we have a problem. My mom, I always remember going to parent-teacher conferences as a kid with my mom, and we would go, and I was always a good student. I was very likable as a kid. Much different as an adult, but I was very likable as a kid. And so the teachers would always talk well of me, he's so good, this, that, the third. And my mom would say, yeah, I know he's good. I see the grade, but his grade is not what I wanted. What is he not doing? What do we need to correct? Bump all this flattery. Yeah. What is he not doing that I need to correct so he can get to where I need him to be? Like, that's the kind of household I grew up in. And so going to college, I wanted to go, especially because I wanted to get out of my hometown. Like, that was my out. I saw that as an out. Get out of here and never come back. I told my mom at 14 years old, when I graduate high school, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. I will visit, but I'm never coming back to the city ever again. I will kill myself before I live here. No. And to date, I've been homeless and still ain't gone back home to live. I refuse. The apocalypse could come, and the only place safe is my hometown. And I guess I'm walking around Thriller like a zombie. What I'm not going to do is just not doing it. So it's like that was, kind of the effect. But by the time I got to college, I hated it. I hated every bit of college. It was a means to an end for me that didn't work out to be the end, which is why I changed majors from electrical engineering, because I didn't even want to be an electrical engineer. I wanted to be a computer engineer. The only reason I wanted to do computer engineering was because early or late 90s, early 2000s, computers became the big deal, and I knew that's where the money was at. Let me get into that, get this money, run my own business, and I ain't got to work for nobody because I don't like people enough for them to tell me what to do 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. It's just not what I want to do.
I think we I mean, I didn't like college, and I think that it was a means to an end. I always knew that too. It was the piece of paper I needed to launch the next step. When I went to college, I told you like, well, in like ninth grade, I thought I was going to be a project review engineer. By the time I actually went to
Mhm.
college, I knew I was going for for engineering, but I thought I wanted to do patent law, and the only way to do patent law is to get an engineering degree and then do law school. But things changed along the way. I was burnt out after Chemie, and especially at OU, I was very burnt out. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like everybody else says, success is one more step past. Just keep going, and it'll happen. So I just it was there was times in there I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then, I'm so logical. I looked at how long it would take, how much I had left, if it was actually doable, and how much it would change my major. And it wasn't in the cards. And I chose Kimmy. I like science and I like math, but all engineering is that. And yeah, I like chemistry. Actually, like biology more. I chose chemical engineering because they paid the most and they were A beta accredited. Simple as that. I knew I could get a
I
job,
could,
and I kind of followed that path throughout most of my career. Have off ramps because life will happen, and my dad used to say that to make sure you plan for the unplanned. Have off ramps, and so just in case, and it's worked well.
I get it. So since you mentioned OU, we've been talking about OU a couple different times. The Ohio University, the bootleg Ohio State. I hate Ohio State too. I've always like, y'all are like the redheaded stepchild of Ohio schools. What? Anyway, I'm just that's a whole other story. What what was your favorite experience and your least favorite experience at OU? Oh, the eye roll.
Favorite
I touched a
experience?
nerve.
Yeah, on the least favorite for sure. Favorite experience was seeing people cross and go out to those little, I don't even know, little things we did at the garden, sitting in Little Africa. Why we called it that, I don't know, but we
Hmm.
did. And just laughing, having jokes told. That was by far my favorite experience. And I had great experiences there. But that's by far like the funnest memories. Least favorite experience. It's got to be when I had to take a teacher to the dean for being and way to put it, I'm pretty sure he was just racist. But if he wasn't, we'll go with it wasn't working for me. I had a teacher who, no matter what I did in his class, no matter if I got an A, if I got an F, he would just give me a C. So I had to take him to the dean, and he accused me of plagiarism because a student he liked took a file from me or asked me. I showed him my file, and that kid used it in his, and he refused to believe it was mine, even with evidence. So we had to go to the dean, and the dean returned my grade to an A, gave the teacher a hand slap, but he was a tenured teacher, and that was bad because that tenured teacher was going to be in future classes, and that was just difficult. But yeah, probably my least favorite thing to do and hardest, and just I had never really had overt issues like that, and I never been accused of like plagiarism. I was very high A, not quite straight A's, but almost very close students. So I just never had any problems like that. I was teacher's pet and all that jazz. So it was like to be accused of something so crazy was like, are you serious with me right now? It got to the point he changed his whole classroom syllabus to the fact that he would collect tests because me and another person had compared our test scores, and we had exact same answers, and they got 100%, and I got a C with nothing on it, just no X's, no marks, just a C.
Wow.
So I took all of this evidence to the dean. I got an A, but it came at a cost. It was a good lesson for me, but it was my least favorite experience. The lesson was that my grandmother used to say it, and I didn't understand it, and that's something that happens too. You don't understand things until later. She used to say, you know, every battle doesn't need to be fought. In the end, you want to win the war. And she was like, if you fight every battle, you will exhaust yourself early on and you will not win the war. So you have to pick and choose your battles. And I was like, I don't understand any of that. And my dad was one to tell you, challenge issues, bring them up, be outspoken. If you wanted to combat him, his first answer for everything was honestly no. So if you wanted to change it to a yes, you had to negotiate. So it made great negotiation skills. But he gives you this false, and I sometimes lose, but sometimes win. But it gives you this false sense that life can be fair or you can be hurt out and just anyway. It was a great experience for. I don't know what that battle should have been, and how I could have played it different, but it definitely prepared me for strategic thinking, and I've been a lot more strategic in life ever since, and it served me really well. But I could have lived without that. I don't care what anybody said. I could have gone without. That was a hard semester.
I can't, other than meeting you and GVF and some of those within GVF. Yeah. Oh, you can go to hell. I just that's how I feel about it. I don't. It was the vehicle that got me where I am now, so I appreciate it, but I hated it. Like, screw you. Most of Ohio as a whole, not necessarily the people, but Ohio as a whole.
I mean,
if I ain't ever.
I had. I'm gonna make the best of anything. So I had some great experiences there, and some funny ones too. I had some not so good experiences. I remember one time I was dating a guy, and I only dated one guy in college. So I was dating this one guy, and he had a friend, and apparently a friend had a crush on me, but I didn't know. So the friend had totally lied and said that he didn't say we slept together though. He said that I don't even know. Can I say whatever? What can I say?
Yeah. You're good. You said whatever.
He claimed, and he was like one of those guys that all the girls had wanted, and I just didn't. I never liked that guy. Maybe because everybody say you look for guys like you. I just never liked that slick guy. I like authentic, intelligent, cool guys. Kind of nerdy. I never liked everybody else liked them. They kind of player, kind of bad boy. I wasn't for that. So he had that vibe, but girls went crazy for it. But anyway, since I was seen as one of the guys, because I had a full boyfriend, I guess he used to try to holler, but I didn't realize it was that at the time. And he told my boyfriend that he had tasted me, right? And that I told him no, we couldn't have sex, but he had tasted me. Why had we never done anything? Not even kissed. And so my boyfriend going off at me saying me and him did something. Not while we were in a relationship. This he's saying way before we were in a relationship, but nothing happened. I hadn't even kissed this dude. And I was like, he said what? And everybody looking like, well, why would he lie? He's like the most popular guy. He can get any girl. I was like, well, that might be true, but he couldn't get me. I don't know why he lied. Anyway, we played a card game. And then, you said I got a mean streak. So, yeah, we were playing this card game. I think we were playing spades. Anyway, we're talking shit across the table. And he said something like, you talk too much. And I was like, are you a Lloyd? Meaning lie on your dick. And he was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you want to go there? Let's go there. And then he was saying something, and I finally was like, oh, so you said you ever did anything with me. Have we even ever kissed? Have you ever seen me, touch me? He was like, I never said that. And all these dudes was like giving him shit. Yes, you did. Anyway, I ended up like smacking him with a card and just embarrassing him. He was all upset. He had to admit he lied in front of all his little friends. It was good times. Yep.
Based off of the description, I think I know who you're talking about. He is who I used to call Alphabet Man. I'm going to describe him. Tell me if I'm right. He was slightly tall, what I would call a waffle colored Negro. He was a little light skinned on the waffle side. Yeah. What was in one of the frats? Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. I called him Alphabet Man. I had to punk him one day. Yeah. He was trying to holler at a girl who was like my sister. She was one of the freshman class coming in. I was still, I think I was a junior at that time, before I left OU completely. And so, he was I think he was a super senior by that time, super senior 1 or 2. And she freshman. And anybody who knows me knows I'm uber protective over the people in my life and what you're not going to do. And I knew his rep at that.
Right.
So he came to her dorm and was sitting in her mod trying to holler at her. She didn't know and he didn't know that I was on my way over because me, her, and another sister of ours, we were supposed to be going to lunch over at, I forget what the doggone cafeteria was. It was on the South Green.
Yep.
We were going to diner over there, so he didn't know I was coming, and they weren't paid. Yeah, I think it was it. And so they didn't know that I was coming over to get him at that time. They just knew we was going to lunch, so they were just talking. I'm walking around, I see him on the couch, and I looked to my others and said, what the heck is he doing here? Oh, yeah, he trying to holler at. I said, yo, bruh, not going to happen, bruh. What you mean? He stood up thinking that I'm short. Meanwhile, I'm same height as him.
And you crazy.
That's the part he didn't realize. Because when you stood up and looked at me, I said,
Especially with
sir,
somebody you care about, you gonna go all in, all the way.
I said, sir, do you want to live to see tomorrow? Oh, what you mean? I said, see, here's the difference. You're standing up trying to punk me because you think you'll fight me and it'll be over. If you win, I'm coming back the next day and I'm not coming fair and I will fight you until I kill you. And I'm from Pittsburgh, PA. I know where to bury bodies. We have a place called the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA. It's nothing but big hills and low valleys. I will throw you in a woods, and no one will find you for 30 years. Do you love your mama? Do you want to put her through this? And I'm walking to him as I'm saying this. And he's got this look in his eye like, this nigga's crazy. I said, if you want to walk and see your mama again, leave this dorm and leave her alone. They went out on one date, and she doesn't know that I punked him again before they went out on this date. I don't know if I told her. I may never have told her, but I punked him before they went on this date, and I told him some things, and I let him know I'll kill him. And then, because I'm allowing this date to happen because she's bugging me so much, not only will I kill you, but I'll find your family, and I'll take them out too just for being associated with you. So I know exactly who you're talking about. I used to call him Alphabet Man for a reason.
I don't know why he chose to lie, but I was like, man,
because he's a liar.
You can get. But I mean, I saw girls, physically saw them go Google over him, and they were pretty girls. And I'm like, you ain't gotta lie. And because he could pull so many girls, he lied.
But that's the thing.
Like, you believe him.
He really couldn't know.
He didn't even tell a really mean lie, but for somebody who hadn't done anything and was still pretty innocent, I was so upset. Look, stupid, but it's funny now. But
no, that's the thing. He really couldn't pull any girl. So if you go back and really think about it, all the girls who were going googly eyeing him were always younger than him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's only because he had that age, and he also had the status of being in one of the premier frats on OU's campus at the time, that made him kind of appealing. Nah, little punk.
Okay.
Anyway, I had a flashback. Yeah, you saw I had a flashback for us almost. But yeah, let's move on. Okay. Let's get a deep you kind of a question. Then we'll go into some other topics. I love this question. This is the type of question I ask almost every guest, or want to ask almost every guest I have had and will have on this interview podcast. If you could go back and tell young Magnificent one thing important to you, what would you tell her and why?
Well, since I didn't really understand it and didn't learn it, and I think it took a long time, I would just really emphasize that don't try to impress anybody. Authenticity and just being you will be just fine. Because early me, not later me, but junior high, like a little bit, 7th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade me. Yeah, no, I would go back and tell her, stop trying to be with the cool kids. Stop trying to be anybody other than whatever you want to be. Just be 100% authentic to you, and everything will work out better than fine. People will try to flock to be your friend, and you won't even want it anymore, and you'll be at peace as opposed to the rest. Because I think it changed a lot and jaded me in ways, or just hurt in ways that I didn't have to hurt early on, and I would have learned that a lot earlier. And I'd also tell me to trust my gut. It is so accurate. I know every woman says that, but it's crazy accurate. And whether you believe in astrology or not, I do. So I'm a Virgo, and the things they write about Virgos. So it's just true. I'm very good at reading people. Extremely good at it. I'm extremely detail oriented and pick up on, like psych. You pick up on minor details that almost make it feel like you're foretelling the future. Just trust my gut, because every time I have gone against my own intuition, I'm disappointed in myself, and then I have a lesson I have to learn out of it. I'm like, and if I just would have stuck with my intuition, I'd be leaps and bounds ahead. So that I would definitely share that with me.
First of all, shouts out to the Psych reference because I used to love that show. So the fact that she referenced that's A1. But one of the reasons I asked that question, and this is a quick aside, shouts out to my good friend Lex the Visionary. She is an up and coming artist. She's right now in Baltimore. She was based in Atlanta. I've interviewed her here on the Real Talk podcast before. She has an EP project out called The Lotus Project. But on this project is this track. It's called The Last Time. And for anybody who wants to hear it, if you want to take a chance to hear it, it's on YouTube. Type Lex the Visionary, Lex the Visionary, and then type The Last Time. The basis and premise of the song is essentially that she is talking to her younger self in this song. And it is my favorite song on that track. Because the way that she does it is so awesome that I'm like, yo, I got to make sure when I interview people, I want to know now, what does everybody want to say to their younger self now? Because that song, it's that kind of good. So shout out to my friend Lex the Visionary. She doesn't know I'm shouting her out, but shout out to her anyway.
I'll go check it out, Lex.
It's a good time. It's good stuff. And she has a lot of other stuff on her Spotify, but that is the one that I push the hardest on. It's my favorite. Most people's favorite track on that, because I don't think they understand the depth of The Last Time. Most people's favorite track is Friends, which is it's like kind of an upbeat party anthem type song that she does on it. It's cool too, but The Last Time though.
Person. I like country music because I'm a word person. I like R&B and rap too. Don't get it twisted. But I love anything with meaning and deep words. It doesn't even have to. I like poetry. It don't even have to have a beat. So I'm sure that I'll be vibing off of The Last Time.
Yeah. When you hear it, please let me know what you think, because I ride for that song. I fought because she did her listening party when she first released it, and I helped do the video for it. Not the video for the song, but the video for how she did the listening party. And I told her, because she was putting up a poll, what should be her single. I was pushing for that song. I got voted down. But I fought tooth and nail. Like, when the voting was done, I was texting her after, like, hey, screw what they're talking about. That Last Time, though, that should be the one. Because it is... Anyway, this ain't about her. I'm sorry. I just love that song.
It's about repping anybody who's good at art. You know that. It ain't going to be about anything. That's awesome. I love giving shout-outs, especially to a female artist. That's going to be amazing. And we need all... And, so I'm going to go and give her some likes and rep too. That's awesome.
Appreciate it. I'll let her know, because it's. I'm telling you, that song. But let's get into the relationships aspect of Magnificent. This is where the bulk of my questions come from. Okay. It's right here. I might have to mix it up with my other topic, because we've been talking for a long time. Not that I mind, but I've been told that some of my episodes go long, and I wind up having to chop it up into pieces, and some people don't like it. I shouldn't really care, but I'm trying to do something with this, so we'll see how it works. But anyway, so let's see here. What do we want to do for the first one? Okay. Let's give them a shout out first. So we know that you're married, or those who know you know that you're married. You mentioned the first marriage, which I wasn't going to talk about at all, because...
What? That was 15 years of my life. We talking about it. It happened. I got a baby. I got a son out of that one.
I know. Screw him, but I love Trey, but screw him. Sorry, Trey. I don't mean to talk bad about your daddy, but screw that nigga. Anyway, because I know some stuff. I've been friends with your mama a long time. I know some stuff.
To not have stuff, but he a good dude.
I know, but... okay.
It just can be things that ain't meant to work. I don't date bad guys. He a good guy. Maybe not the person for me, but a good guy.
Okay.
You're just biased. Next.
I'm allowed to be biased.
You are. So I have a new husband. Yes, I got remarried. Mm-hmm.
This one's a good guy. The other one, kiss my... Anyway, so let's start with, how long have you been married to the good guy? Not the piece of crap, the good guy.
5 years. I've been remarried 5 years.
Awesome. We ain't gonna call it remarried. We just gonna call it married. No point doing this where you hear none of these questions will you hear remarried at. It's just married. Bump that Negro. Married.
You're horrible.
Okay. Hey, listen. I'm just saying. I'm just being. You know me. You knew I was gonna be me.
Oh, apart. I'm done. We not bad.
People do grow apart. I'm not bashing them. I'm just stating facts. Like everything, I'm like you. I come with receipts.
You're so stupid. I've been married for 5. You're horrible. I was married the first time for 15, then I got divorced, and I've been married now 5.
You've been married for 5 years. I told you we're not dealing with that first one. That first one don't count. You were stuck you were stuck with this guy, almost like R. Kelly trapped them little girls in the basement. You were stuck for 15 years and wound up having something beautiful named Tremendous come out of that experience because even out of the mud something beautiful can happen. But outside of that, he's still mud.
I think you only tell your friends the negative stuff sometimes, and then it taints them.
No, you told me all. You told me the good and the bad, and I weighed both over the course of the time I have known, and the good does not outweigh the bad. Now he may be a good dude now, but that ain't got nothing to do with this. Bump him anyway. So shout out to the good husband. We gonna call your name in a second. Shout out to the good husband. And the next question is. However, Scott who is your husband, he is not African American, which for me is not an issue because my first one was not one of us, and so I understand. What other than race? We're gonna start with this. What other than race for you? Being married is. I'm trying to read it. I messed up how I got to read this close now. That's how I'm getting old. Other way for you being married. Oh, okay. I missed a word. That's why I missed a word reading it, and it's sitting right there. What other than race is different for you being married as opposed to any other relationship you've been in? So aside from the different racial issues that can come up that you have to come together on to understand, what other than that is different about you, Magnificent the wife, as opposed to Magnificent who has been a girlfriend and has been trapped in a closet or in the basement with that 15-year mess that produced something beautiful?
This time around, well, it's so much different in the second marriage. You keep saying it. I'm saying it the way I want to say it. But it's so much different when the second time around. It's just, because you had it first. But I think when you initially get together, your parents always tell you, look at the big picture, and they list a bunch of things, at least mine did, that you're supposed to watch out for, because my grandmother had been married multiple times. And you ignore it, and you marry for love. I got to put quotations on that, because, that's what you do. And you're growing in yourself, and you're growing through that, and so you give a lot, way more, and you accept a lot, and you just go through a lot, right? And you're growing into yourself. The second time you marry, love is on the list. It is way down on that motherfucker, okay? It's way down. It's a lot of other things. It's almost like the 80-20 rule. You'd be like, okay, so what did I not quite hit right? So you start looking for all of those things, and other things rise to the top. So for me, I mean, think that this my spouse now, we're both engineers. We're both Virgos, which I don't even ask. That's its own problem. Maybe don't marry your own sign. But no, and he's really into fixing things, building things. We kind of ended up actually falling in love on rebuilding his house, on refurbishing his house. And so we just had that connection, and so we do a lot of stuff together. He's the early riser. He is, got a ton of energy, and he goes out of his way to try to show appreciation. I guess the best way to say this is your first time you get engaged or even married or any of that, you marry the person you love a lot and you give a lot. You're like, I love you more and I'm going to give this to you. The next time you marry, you probably marry the person who loves you more and wants to express that to you. And then you balance. It's balance. Don't get me wrong, it's not all take, but the view is different. And so the growth is different, right? I'm a lot older too. So he's older even than I am. He's several years older than me, like a lot. And so we, it's a different vibe. We're like literally like that old married couple, because it's a different vibe. He's like trying to regain his youth, and I'm like in zen, like, okay, I'm not doing that. And he's okay with it. So those things kind of work. There's days that they don't work, and it's like anything else. But I think you understand your boundaries. You're way more transparent because you understand them now too. You cross your boundary, so it's not a guessing. I think when you get together in the beginning, you're guessing your boundaries. You kind of know those lines. And I was I was pretty accurate with my boundaries, so yay for me. But you really don't know till you're across it. Once you cross it, you like, oh yeah, that's a hard line for me, and you're not guessing anymore. So you're not meek about that, you know. And when somebody's older, they kind of have gone through it too. So I think one of the things I changed about me, which I really feel bad for. I remember that in previous times, people have asked me to be a little bit more vulnerable. I was like, yeah, kind of. And I tried, but it wasn't the same. I'm much more vulnerable in this time around. In addition to that, like one of the questions I had asked, I remember this so bad. I actually, there's things I don't feel bad about, but this one I kind of feel a little bad about. I was asked in my previous marriage many times if I would just sit at the dinner table because they really wanted to do the whole dinner table family thing. And I was just opposed to it, but no good reason. Like I look back now and I'm like, that didn't make any sense. Like I would just smack me and be like, bitch, go to the table and eat. Why you gotta be difficult? Because we would cook and I would walk away from the table. Like it was just wrong. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. But now I sit at the table mainly because he takes the meal to the I tried to do the same thing and he would like put it on the table. He just thinking new ways to outsmart me. So it's like already at the dinner table, already serving, and I gotta sit there and put it on the plate. And then he's like, could you please sit down? And at that point, you just got to be evil or something to walk away at that point and be like, you just want to start a problem. So I usually ended up sitting at the table. Now it's a routine. We always sit at the table. But I mean, just little things, just growth. I think knowing yourself, being at peace with yourself kind of, and knowing your boundaries and looking for those new different things really helps. So It definitely wasn't race because that was the hardest piece to accept, actually. I never thought I would date a white guy. I was like, nah.
Oh, I know, because you dogged me for mine, so I understand. That's why I was like, I know.
Yeah, gross. But it was literally, you know, a sneak attack. I joke about it, but it was. But it worked out.
So speaking of it being hard for you, and shout out to Scott, because you a good one, Doc, and when you see this interview and you hear me say that, ask your wife how hard it is to get that statement from me. I don't say that often, so you a good dude. And I'm looking up at the camera. See, my laptop's down here, but I'm looking right to the camera. So you can see dead these beady eyes. You a good one. You a good dude. Appreciate you, sir. Especially because you got rid of that other. Anyway, so yeah, you good dude. You a good dude. But how hard was it for your family to receive him, being that he's not black, and for his family to receive you, being that you're not white?
Neither were hard at all, honestly. I was surprised.
Oh, that's a blessing.
My family already had white people in it, so it was fine. So it was we weren't the first rodeo. My grandmother's first son's wife, that was probably the hardest one, and she worked all that out. So by then, everybody had worked it all out. And there was no issues. My other cousins married to white dude. It was easy. I think I had the hardest time, way harder than that they did. Now, his family, very easy, but I will tell a story that's worth a mention. So, we're going to meet his mom, and everything, and his mom and father are still married, been married for 10 years, you know, one of those guys. So, since the dawn of time, so 40 or more years. So I think they just got their 50th anniversary, whatever, but you get it, a long, long time. So we're going to go meet them like the next day, like tomorrow. And I'm like, and she's talked to me or knew of me. We were still dating, not even like, we're still in the dating phase. And I'm like, you did tell her I'm black, right? And he goes like, no, why? You don't know. And he seriously sits there and he's like, no. And I was like, what do you mean, no? I was like, if you don't text this woman right now, then tell her I'm black. I need her to work all of her shit face out. You know that. I don't want her to answer the door and I can read it all on her face. I don't care what comes out of her mouth. I'm going to see it. Let her work that out so she's ready. Don't surprise nobody with that. Tell her. He was like, oh, you think so? He's like, my parents are cool. I'm like, have you ever brought a black woman home? He's like, no. I'm like, if you don't hurry up and put this in the text, like, let her know. Your ex was white. Like, let her know. He texted a picture that he still didn't say anything. He just texted a picture of me. So I guess that was his way of saying it. But at least she knew. But he texted on the car ride down there. We were living in Oklahoma and they live in Wichita. He texted on the car ride down. She was so sweet by the time we got there. But it was very sweet, very nice. But yeah, I'm like, This man trying to have what is wrong with him? He did not. He was going surprise.
Oh no, I know that experience all too well.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
Her grandparents or grandmother in particular got the surprise, and she pulled her aside, and I have always said she said it so that I could hear it.
Probably.
It has been said to me, she just doesn't realize the sound, how much her voice carries, because she pulled her away. It was one of those we didn't even get in the door. We were just coming to visit. It was Christmas time or what? I think it was Christmas time. It was one of them holidays. It was coming down to visit real quick, and it was going to go on about our business. And so we get to the door, and as we're coming to the door, she's coming out. So I'm guessing her daddy said something because she didn't. That's all I can think, because otherwise, why was this a conversation had now as opposed to then if she had said? So she grabs her by the arm and pulls her up to the porch. I hadn't moved because I know what the arm grab is. So I'm waiting, and all I hear is, if you marry him, I'ma disown you. Yeah. That made for a real fun dinner. So so when you say the face, I know the face well. Which is why I figured, let me ask that question, because I have lived that experience. So let me ask to find out what yours was like, especially since you know all the things you had said about me.
I know. Growth. It's all about growth. But yeah. So yeah, but I was, everybody told me, oh, I kind of guessed you were dating. I was like, I didn't guess it for myself, so that's crazy. But it worked out the way it did.
So here's one that acknowledges that past person, Swamp Rat. Your family is, and this is something also that I can also relate to. Your family is what's called a blended family. People love them types of terms.
Yeah.
Since your son is not biologically Scots,
yeah,
he is the beautiful spawn of Swamp Rats, who has turned out to be an outstanding, wonderful young man.
Okay.
Like, he has surpassed. He has your genes. I don't know. God did something, because he has all your genes and none of his. Because he has no. I've not seen Swamp Rat in him at all. But what are some of the struggles that you had to overcome to successfully blend your family together? Because that's not an easy thing to do, especially with you being you.
No, actually, it wasn't hard at all. My grandmother said a lot of things to me growing up, and she had been married multiple times, and it's all in what you set the stage early. Like, there was never gonna be none of that bullshit. I kind of think like when Will Smith and Jada and they tell their story, it was never gonna be all this back and forth, none of that. It was when you are kind of upfront with someone, and Charles and I always had good parenting skills. Like, no matter what was going on, we were good parents. But so it was easy to get back into co-parenting, and Scott I told him how it was going to be, and he was kind of like, okay. He wasn't used to it, so he had questions, but he didn't fight against it, because that wouldn't have worked. He kind of rolled with it. So we've had, and we still have, like, Thanksgiving dinners all together, all of us, like everybody, and it was just gonna work. Like, look, we're gonna make this work. The awkwardest moment. So there's been like 3 that I can clearly name. The first one was Charles, to this day, and gives me gifts on all the important events like Mother's Day, birthday, Christmas. I'm gonna get a gift. I actually encouraged Scott to give his ex-wife a gift. I'm like, she's the mother of your child. If you don't get that woman a gift for Mother's Day, so it was good. But this was the first one. So Scott had never given his ex-wife a Mother's Day present. He didn't even understand it. And Charles had got me a really nice Mother's Day gift. This is our first time. And who knows if he was showboating. It didn't matter. I was really excited, and I honestly reacted to that gift. And Scott,
I know how you did.
Not a good gift giver. He's a lot of great things, but the gifts suck. So I had to help coach him on gifts. Like, can you just get me this exact one right here? Like that exact one. Like, don't click different on Amazon. Just click buy. But Charles is a great gift giver. It's like amazing. So yeah, my reaction was authentic, but it was untimely. So that was unfortunate. I had to deal with that. That was an awkward moment. The other awkward moment is Trey wanted to do a game day with everybody. I think it might have been his birthday. So we were playing headbands, and he's like maybe 14 at this time. We were playing headbands, and me and Charles are, all these years. At that point, it was like 20-some years of knowing each other, because I met him when I was 16, and we didn't get married right away. So fast forward, we're playing headbands. We know how each other think before we can think. So we avoided playing headbands together, kind of intentionally, but everything was fine until Trey paired us together. And headbands, you have a timer, and you're supposed to get so many. And we probably got like 20, like 15 in that little timer time, that 1 minute. And we got into the rhythm of just, what about the end, just motions. And Scott was like, "Are y'all doing ESP?" And we saw how people were reacting after the fact, but it was too late. He was like, "Well, nobody can beat that." And it was just so awkward. And we were like, maybe we shouldn't play these kind of games together anymore, because he was like, "There's no way you guys can get that." He grunted and you guessed. And I'm like, it was not like that. But that's what other people, maybe it was like that. I don't know.
It was absolutely like that. I wasn't even there, and I know it was absolutely like that. But it's 15 years together.
Right. But for like a month after that, Scott kept trying to like half finish his sentences and see if I would understand them. I had to have like a hard like argument. Like, it was definitely not our first argument, but it was like one of our, like me like really being pointed and kind of mean about it. Like, if you don't stop half communicating, communication is, my dad used to say, good communication is communication that's understood. I was like, you doing this half thing? He was like, I'm hoping that we're gonna get to be in sync like that. I'm like, stop. That's not how this works. You can't tell me a small piece of something and expect me to understand it. We're having all kinds of miscommunication because you're doing this dumb stuff. Use your words. And it was funny. That takes time. Like, for me and Philanda, like, we're 14 years in, and we're at that place now where, like, there's a whole lot of stuff we don't have. Our typical night is she's in her recliner, I'm on my recliner. We're right next to each other. We're watching TV, and we're not really even saying anything, but we're saying a whole lot because we already know it's that, like, we still have to talk. Like, words still have to come out of our mouths, but we understand how we both flow. We understand our moves. There's things that we understand. There's stories that I have told 100 times, stories she's told 100 times, so we don't have to do a whole lot of it. If we ever play games like that, like maybe charades or whatever, we'd be really good because we know how each other does, except for spades. We're never allowed to play. I told her she could not be my spades partner because I want to stay married. I am evil when it comes to spades, and if you mess up a book as my partner, I'm gonna cuss you out. Like, forget all this, hey, Jesse's a pastor and minister and man of God. Forget all of that. You about to find out the other side of me that folks don't read the place. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not. And I can't play against you because I talk way too much trash to my opponent. Yeah, and I know you. We 14 years in, I got secret dirt. I know how to distract you. I'm gonna have to pay for it later on, but I'm trying to win this game right now. That's like competitiveness. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, Scott. Trust me, it's gonna come. Y'all only 5 years in. Y'all still got Semitic behind the ears in terms of y'all's relationship and marriage. Y'all give it some more time. Give it another 6 or 7 years. It'll start to click like that. A few years ago too, we got better. He now communicates so fully, so that's really good. But yeah, there was that moment. I was like, "What in the heck is this?" Because we went from like really great communication to these like partial that I didn't know what to do with it until I finally snapped. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, yep. So I'm not allowed to play those type of games with Charles, and nobody said it. We just agreed. It wasn't nobody ever said it. You just read your partner and know that was uncomfortable for them, and if you care, you're like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. I promise you, I get it. I can see everybody around like, and he's like, oh, it's, and what? How the?
I get it. I'm sorry, that tickled me because I just had the visual. It's hilarious to me. I know it's not hilarious to Scott, but it's hilarious to me because I understand it. Okay, so I was going to play this video for this next question, but I'm going to just try to describe what's going on. No, let me do the lead-in question first. Let me do that first. Let me be a good host and interviewer and do the lead-in question first. So, this has nothing to do with you and Scott, and show ain't got nothing to do with you and Swamp Rat. But we're gonna talk in general in terms of relationships and dating.
All right.
Because it seems like the dating scene for both sides, both men and women, nowadays is trash. I'm 14 years in, so I don't know directly, but I'm on social media and I see the things. It's trash. So the first leading question is, what advice would you give to a young woman who wants to be in a relationship and ultimately become a wife? What would be your advice?
I don't know. Oh, what would be my advice? Join groups that physically take you out, like an outdoors group, and do things that you like to do. So if you like, whatever that is, arts and crafts, medieval times, Comic-Con, figure out something you really like to do that other people will be at. It can't be a solo activity, hiking, camping, whatever. And join a group of people that like to do that. Because we're going to somehow, through osmosis, meet from these two ends of the earth and have a connection is bullshit. So, no, don't even bother that. Yes, you can use social media, but I don't think you should use it for your dating pool so much as for your friendship activity pool. And you'll find people that like to do what you do. And then just being around somebody that likes to do what you do can bring a natural chemistry that's real, authentic, good. If you like to travel, join a traveling group. Things like that. Definitely do not scare anybody, even your own self. I think sometimes you can almost put the energy out there that's the negative. I want this so bad that you're so much driven that you're almost sending the reverse signals out. So I honestly, I've been engaged a lot. You won't talk about how much, but just a lot. And I honestly never wanted it. It was never like, I want to get married. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to get married. I tell you, trick yourself into not thinking you want to get married. It's the easiest way to get married. The actions you act and the way you act and your demeanor and your demands totally change when you're not gun-ho for something, when it's not a carrot dangling in front of you. Especially if you don't want it, it's like, move that away. They can't trick you into it. Nobody can use it against you. It's not fake words. It's like, you got to show me and convince me because I don't even want this. And your whole demeanor of it changes and you find a person who is really going to show and prove. And you're not doing things to get them to show you. You're naturally repulsed by it or not into it. And they got to kind of convince you into it. Also, let people know that Common was not playing when he said, don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. And people keep saying this, but when a guy is ready to get married, he dates for his wife. And you do not take a long time. It's lickety split. You'd be like, well, wait, huh? What? You're shocked at the amount of speed that somebody who is serious about you changes everything. They're like, their whole life changes instantly. Like, I will, no, you're going to be my wife. And they say it early, and then they start demonstrating it, and it's so fast. Your head's spinning. Like, you want to get married? Can we date? Like, you're trying to slow it down. Can we pump some brakes? What is you talking about? So, and it's not like lip service. They're serious. Like, let's meet parents, let's meet friends, let's set dates for this marriage. And you're like, wait, we on date number 6 or whatever. You get it. But it's fast. So if it's taking a long time, if you feel like you're convincing somebody, then you're probably the placeholder and you're not the one. That's not where he is in his life right now. He recognizes you're a great woman, but he doesn't want to commit to you. So take a step away from that. Sometimes taking a step away from that makes him realize that he does want to marry you. But those might be my advice. And definitely don't go on whatever it is. I don't even know what they're called anymore.
The dating apps.
Just make me hate you, whatever. You need to call it waste of time. Don't do it. Baby, unless you just want free meals. If you're saying I want a nice free meal with a guy that's trying to get in my pants, then go for it. Just prepare to say no. Wear your ugly girl panties, the ones that you won't ever show to anybody. And then you can go on the date and enjoy your meal, and then play octopus hands all day and then tell him no. But if you're looking for something serious, just no. Go find a group.
You have no idea how much of a great segue that is into the next question. Like, that is a great segue, because there was this viral incident a little while ago. This is months ago now. So if I don't blame you if you don't remember it. This is what I was going to play the video to, but it's like 6 minutes long and we've been talking for a while, so I don't know if you want to see the video, but I'll try to explain it first, and if you remember it, great. If not, I'll play some of it and see where it goes from there. Because it started this phenomenon of what I call entitled ignorant women, who, if I was dating, I probably would set fire to. And this is the first one that I saw, and this is the first one that I know that went like crazy viral. It is the Cheesecake Factory incident.
Oh, I saw that.
So you did see it, good, so I ain't got to play it. So for those who don't know, just a quick memory refresher, this dude was taking this young lady out on their first date to the Cheesecake Factory. She decides to go live and sit like a petulant, spoiled brat in the car and not get out because she is too fine to go to the Cheesecake Factory. I can't go in looking like this, and she's ugly. Let's be clear about this. She is not cute. I don't know what about her thought she looked too. And if you ever see this, yes, my ugly self called you ugly, because ugly recognize ugly. I may look like Flavor Flav, but you look like New York. Just so we're clear. You was in 8-foot braids. I'm just letting it be known. Matter of fact, hold on. I know how I'm gonna do it. I don't even have to play the video to put you up so folks can see. That's her right there. Y'all see that right there? Look, take a real good look at this face, and you tell me that is cute. Ain't nothing. Anyway, so she's sitting in the car like a petulant child, and she's upset because he has decided to take her to the Cheesecake Factory. And long story short, she decides this ain't happening. I'm not going. He's like, well, we could talk about it. I'll sit in the car and talk about it. Cool, no problem. And he runs. When I found out the full story, because originally the full clip didn't play. The full clip the clip that was going around was just her being a butthole about not going into the Cheesecake Factory. And then as he's getting in the car, the clip shuts off. The full clip is that he had intended on taking her to a 5-star type restaurant for real. He made reservations for 5 o'clock. From where she lived, it was an hour to get there. So he shows up at about 4. She's not ready. She don't even come down to say hey, or call and say, hey, give me a minute. I'm still getting ready. I'm almost done. No. She just leaves him sitting in the car for an hour. Won't let him up. None of that. And then she comes down at about 5:15. They've missed the reservation. So he's trying to figure out, okay, where can I take it? It's still kind of nice. Okay, cool. We going to the Cheesecake Factory. She says in the video, hey, I look too good to be walking into the Cheesecake Factory, and the reason I didn't let you in to my place is because, I don't know you like that. And he was like, cool, I understand that, I respect that, but also, do you think I should be going all out on you and I don't even know you like that? So I bring that scenario up because it brought this whole virality of statements of women who are petulant children like her, probably ugly monkeys that should have been in the Wizard of Oz, making statements of places that you can't take me on the first date. Now, I hate the Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory sucks. They're overpriced. Their food sucks. Only thing that's good is their strawberry cheesecake, and my wife makes a better strawberry cheesecake than them. So if I want strawberry cheesecake, I'll ask my wife to bake it. Or my second option is go to the grocery store and get Sara Lee's. It's also better than Cheesecake Factory. Anyhow, Do you have, if you were dating again, do you have places that are deal breakers for you for a first date?
Absolutely. Have deal breaker places. You have to turn off that video.
Oh, you see the thing? Okay, my bad.
Not see.
There we go.
Their feed.
Oh.
Yeah. So, absolutely have places that are deal breakers, but they're nothing like you would think. It is not going to be a restaurant. I don't care where the restaurant is. It could be a food truck. That's not going to be the deal breaker. Deal breaker places. You cannot take me into an alley. Deal breaker places. You cannot take me to your house. I'm just saying. You asked.
Who was taking you to an alley for a first date?
Nobody did, but I'm telling you, it ain't happening. Like, we got some places. So, yes, you aren't taking me to your house. You're not taking me to a friend's house unless that's prearranged. So, as long as it's a destination, the intent is to have communication. We don't got to go in. We can go on a walk in the park. But, yes, I'm just being honest. You probably can't take me into the worst part of East St. Louis without my knowledge in the middle of the night. We got to have some basics. But if it's safe, clearly safety, and it's not like so offensive like your bedroom or your house, then I don't know, then I'm all for that. It's all about communication and getting to know one another, and people all have all these standards, and they can't even meet their own standards. Be the change you want to see. If you are that picky about a place, then perhaps you need to be the first person to initiate and set the date and then pay for the date. I would happily do that. Now, I'm not always about that, and I don't mind if the man wants to, but if it's hard enough for a person to ask you out, to come and get you, and to try and plan anything, I'm appreciative of that, and then we're going to see if we can get to know each other. And if the vibe is great, we'll naturally go to more places. And I have a very creative mind. We will hit all of those places, because if you don't naturally take me, I'll naturally take you, and we'll just get there, and we'll elevate together. But, yeah, there's no such... We can go to a food trip. I don't care. Yeah, that's not it, but yeah.
I'm dying over the alley. Is this nigga Bruce Wayne's daddy? And y'all go, what experience other than getting murdered and mugged is gonna happen on a date in an alley?
See, you figured it out.
Why?
I'm just saying, like, that don't sound great, so we probably not doing that.
Oh my God. Oh, I needed that laugh. Jesus. And Allie got me. Oh my God.
There's places. I'm just saying.
And for that to be the first thing that came to your mind, we're not going to an alley. And you said it like it's normal. Like, people out here dating in alleys that are homeless.
Well, people asking people ask you to take them to Dubai on the first date. I'm just thinking of the exact opposite of foolishness. You're not gonna take me somewhere crazy. But yeah, there's no, if the person is so picky. My dad used to say the best first date, and there are bad first dates, I would still go because you took the time. But a bad first date is anything that doesn't allow you to have communication. So to me, movies are a horrible first date. I can't talk to you. We're not interacting. I know nothing about you unless you're planning to do some kind of mini unique indie film, and then after that we go on a walk to discuss it or something. It's just, that's not a good date. But any place eating and dinner, I mean, I would say something really loud where there's no way you can communicate, like a dance place or something where there's loud music and no way to communicate. Bad first date. Can you gyrate up against each other? Yeah, but is it a truly good first date to connect? Probably not. Would I still go? Absolutely. I mean, you took the time to plan it. Will you get deductions in your ability to take me on a future one? Absolutely. But yeah, there's no reason to be such a snob and so bitchy that you make it impossible to date you, talking about some of you have standards. This is crazy. If you're that picky, then you plan the date. And I don't mean tell them what to do. I mean plan it. And I'm like 50. I 100% agree with this. The person that asks pays. So don't. And these women out here can't rub two nickels together and talking about some spend $5,000 on me. They're crazy. They've lost it.
That's actually kind of in my next question as to what are your thoughts on the roles in dating, like who pays and how much or what should be expected, because this is again, Falana says this to me all the time that she's so glad that she's married and not in this dating pool, but she says it for other reasons. I am so glad I'm married and I'm not in this dating pool, because look, you just one of the other videos that went viral in the same time frame. Really, just I wanted to punch a wall through it, but I own the wall, and so I'm not busting up stuff that I'm paying for. I'll bust up your stuff. I'm not busting up my stuff. This dude was pursuing her for like a while online, and she got hungry and just wanted a meal. So she finally said yes. So he took her to this seafood restaurant, seafood bar, and she got like, no, she ordered like 48 seashell. What the heck were they?
Oyster?
Yes, oysters, and 3 drinks. And he looked at that, and she expected him to pay. And he did the best thing I've ever heard of any dude doing. He said, "I'll be right back and go in the bathroom," and left. Text her and said, "Hey, what's your Cash App? I left. I'm gonna Cash App you what I owe you from my end of the meal." She went live and dogged him for it, and I'm like, "Oh, you ate 48 oysters. Like, let's be real. Those oysters were $16 an oyster almost. I wish I would spend $3,000 on a meal for you. You fat ape. If you don't, like, you're not doing this for yourself. Why am I expected to do this for you? You ain't my wife." So for you, and some of this you've already answered, but it's in the lineup of questions, so I figured might as well dig some more deeper into it. What would you tell these young women and these young men about the expectation of roles in dating, especially the first date? Because the first date's always the hardest.
I think it's basic kindness in general things, rules. We were all taught, and maybe something skipped in this generation because, they keep doing these what's to finish this sentence things, and this new generation can't answer that either. So maybe we skip something that our parents didn't skip with us, but the golden rule is always be do unto others as you wish to do unto you, right? So just reverse your roles. If you were the other person, honestly, what would be acceptable? And put yourself in their shoes. Actually, better yet, be the other person. Ask a guy on a date and be the other person in his shoes. And what do you want him to be like? He's a human being too, so flip it. That's exactly what another human being is going to want. That's exactly what they're going to want. And money isn't the issue, but respect is. If it's the very first date and it's the very first encounter and you take it to the nth degree, that's disrespectful. Now, whether or not he pays, I personally think that if you ask somebody on a date, if you have limited funds, you should make that clear in the beginning. But respect is respect. So she was disrespectful. I personally would have paid, and we just never, that would have been the end of that. We never would have saw each other. I think what he did was funny too, especially when somebody's being disrespectful and abusive, because that's a form of abuse, monetary abuse. But, just reciprocal. Reciprocity is there for a reason. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Would you want to go on a date, or would you want to ask a person on a date? And this is for women out there. Men already know the answer because they take women on dates a lot more. But as a woman, would you want to put yourself there, ask a guy on a date? He goes on a date with you, and he spends ridiculous amount of money. Would you feel comfortable? Now, whether or not you pay, I can pay it. I'm still not going to appreciate that you took advantage of me, and then they don't even call you. You're going to feel some kind of way. So just put yourself in that person's shoes. And kind of remember that dating is the whole point of dating. It's not to see what you could get them for free, or to up another person, or to make them prove that they love you through a monetary expense. It's to connect and get to know one another. Have a good time and have a connection. That's it. And if you do that, you'll have fun and people will come and see you. And your light will shine. If you're out to get something and use it, Tori, you're going to end up with a lot of bad experiences. And it's just going to be the reality. And you're not going to find Mr. Right for you anyway. You're going to find something you're not really ready for and don't want, because at that point you're treating yourself like a commodity to be bought. So you're going to get that energy. So just play nice.
I think part of the problem is with connecting is you have to know yourself to connect, and this generation don't know themselves. They only identify themselves by the things they can either buy or get.
I think social media has tainted people in this whole influencer culture, and not every influencer is bad. I love a lot of them, or I like a lot of them, but that influencer
I disagree with that though.
And one-upping one another and snapping only the best pictures of life and only showing everything in this all roses, and then you hear your friend got $1,000, so you want to see if you can got $1,000. You got rappers and people, not just rappers. I have nothing against rappers. I actually like them just fine. But you have people out here promoting the "it ain't tricking if you got it" lie. Like, tricking is still tricking. You buying a hoe. Like, what you playing? I don't care if you got it or don't. It's still buying somebody, and that's ridiculous. So people are out here with disingenuous, can't talk today. Disingenuous intentions, and that breeds that whole piece. I think guys can't go out saying, well, I'm taking her out on a meal to sleep with her either, because there's that same thing. Y'all just got to go out for the right reasons. I want to spend good company with a good quality person and get to know them and see if I want to do this again. If you go both out with that intention, you're going to have a great time. It may or may not be a love connect, but you're going to have an awesome time. And then you can do this again, because dating is not about, people always think dating is about finding your soulmate. It's not. Dating is about finding the type of person you don't want. And you learn a lot of frogs, a whole lot of frogs, before you meet a prince. But you can have fun along the way.
So speaking of dating, I specifically wrote this question down as we were talking off air because it came to mind. I was like, I didn't put that in there. That's a great question. I know we gonna get to this. What is the weirdest date you have ever been on? Since we're talking about dating, weirdest or worst, you can choose either.
Worst is easy. Weirdest is harder. Let me see. I'll do worst, and if I think of weirdest, I'll do that too. Let's see. My worst date, I was 16, so I couldn't date until I was 16, and I started dating a lot when I was 16. It's actually unreasonable. I'll tell the story. My dad had to come up with rules. I literally couldn't do more than 3 dates in a day, on weekends only.
3 dates in a day? Not in a week. 3 dates in a day?
Yeah, he had to come up with that rule because I took it to the
How did you have time to do 3 dates in a day?
It was only on weekends, so you could only go on so many. And my weekdays, remember, my dad kept me busy, so I could only do weekends. So I could do one night Friday night, 3 on Saturday, and if I timed it right, 3 on Sunday, but sometimes 2 on Sunday. But one Saturday, I had did 5 dates. We won't talk about that because that was not my worst date. But I did get in trouble, and I did have new rules made. So we're just gonna say I had lost my mind, but I was still, I stayed a virgin until I was 18, so it wasn't anything about sex, but it was about dating. So I dated a lot. You asked me out, I said, yeah, I tried to squeeze it in. Anyway, we had rules, and you had to have 2 hours between your dates. All for a reason. One dude was pulling in my driveway while another dude literally pulled out, like was not even around the corner yet. My dad lost his mind.
Mag was a player.
Everybody knew I wasn't dating anybody. I wasn't even kissing these dudes. I remember my girlfriend thought later on, like when I got older and she knew how much I dated, she literally thought that I was like messing with people, and I was like, dude, I went on like 100 dates in like 5 months. What is you smoking? Like, I didn't sleep with none of them. I didn't kiss any of them. I'd have mono or something. Like, this is crazy. I wasn't doing nothing. We were literally holding hands because I was at that innocent cutesy phase. Anyway, fast forward, my worst date. That's what you asked, not about my crazy dating life.
I should have asked about that too.
This guy, I don't even know his name. It don't even matter. But he kept asking me out. We had pagers, gave my page number. He calls me on the house phone. We're talking, blah, blah, blah. So he asked me out. We had talked for like a couple of weeks on the phone here and there because I was addicted to the phone. If it was addiction to the phone, I had it. That was the thing. So we were talking. So he asked me out, and I asked him, I said, is this going to be Dutch or, are you paying for the date? And he was like, and I was like, and I was going to turn down Dutch because I had a dating roster. So put him in my dating roster. Remember, these 3 days, I had to bump somebody else. So I was going to have to cancel somebody. So he said he was going to pay for the date, and he wanted to go to the movies. Really bad first date. I already knew this. Me and my dad had talked about good first dates, but I was like, okay, whatever. And so I told him, okay. I always brought my own money. My grandmother always made sure I had. My dad did too. Do you have enough money? Here's extra money. So this is me at 16 having like $100, $120 in my purse to go on a date, which shouldn't cost more than $20. This is always. My parents was like, you will not be out there by yourself, stranded. You can take a cab. You can do all this. And I also had, before credit cards was a thing, I had my grandmother's credit card, which I don't know how it was going to use, but you could back then. And if anything, emergencies, those rates were crazy. I could use it. But I always kept like $120 per date. So as a girl, pretty good back in, we talking in the 90s. So This is a good thing. So anyway, he comes and picks me up, and it's this car, and it's really beat up. But I'm really not picky about any of that. So I'm like, okay. But that wasn't the bad part. So he crawls out of his window, and you're gonna let me get the story here. He crawls out his window, and he walks around to the other side of the car. And he opens the door and he lets me in. And I get in. And first of all, my parents make you give ID and all of that. So he had to show his ID and all that. So I did. Anyway, we get in and he tries to close the door and it doesn't close. So he has to close my side of the door like 4 times. But it finally closed pretty hard and it seems good. And this is like a, I don't know, 1970 Buick. It would seem like it was about to fall apart. And we in the 90s now. So he gets in and he's driving to the movies, and he says he's low on gas. So he puts $5 in the tank. It might have been 3. He puts money in the tank. I think it was 5 because he had a 20. He put $5 in the tank, and we get to the. It really might have been 3. We just gonna go with 5 because it sounds good. I think it was like $3. But we get to the movies, and okay, fine. So he gets out of his car door normally, and he opens my door normally. And I guess
hold on, push pause. I'm sorry. Wait a second. Did you say he got out of his car normally? So right. Why in God's name did he crawl out the window the first time?
We get in there. So we watch.
Okay.
So we go to pay for the movie. And he doesn't have enough money because he got this gas, and the tickets were like $7 each, and he's like 14, and with taxes like 15 and some change. So he doesn't have enough money to pay for the movie ticket. So he asked me after he had told me he wasn't if I could pay for the movie. I almost canceled the date then, but I was like, you know what? Younger me was much nicer. I was like, things happen. It's fine. We're here. We're gonna make the best of this. Okay, so I give him a $10 bill, and he pays the rest of the ticket. Fine. And so we go in, and then with my change, which was like $9 or $8 and some change, he asked me if I want something from the stand, from the popcorn stand. And I say, no, thank you. He never offers me my change back. I don't even think about it. We watch the movie. We get back out. We leave. We get in a car. And he gets into his car normally because he didn't want to crawl through the window again. And he slams his door. He lets me in first, and he gets me in. A few more slams. Boom, boom, boom. We're in. He slams his door. And so we're driving supposedly to a little park. But he's driving home, and he flies out of the car. And he's holding onto the wheel. He's Flintstoning he's Flintstoning the car. No. Yeah. And there's an oncoming car. So I'm like, we're going to die. Somehow he runs fast enough and hops in and whatever the car over. And he still decides that he's okay. So he starts driving again. He doesn't stop or anything. He kind of still drives, and he flies back out the car. So he's Flintstoning again. So I'm scared again. So finally he gets back in. I'm like, he's going to fly out the car. I'm thinking, how quickly can I get over here and grab the wheel? Should I grab the wheel? What are we doing with this? So anyway, he gets back in the car, and I tell him, you got to stop. So he pulls over and he stops, and he's like, starts crying. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, the door doesn't work and the lock never works, and I shouldn't have opened it, but I was embarrassed. And so I don't know if we can drive home. So I'm like, okay, this is still, we only have pagers, pre-cell phone. So I'm like looking around like we're in the middle of nowhere. Where am I going to get a payphone? Because I'm about to call my dad to tell him to come get me. So he says, give him a second. And he like fiddles with, he has some like screwdriver. He fiddles with the lock. It's crazy. So we get back in, and he slams the door from the outside, and then he crawls in the window. He headbutts me while crawling in the window because he like jumps in, and anyway. Yeah. So then he gotta remember these dates, right? So then he decides that he's still running out of gas. So mind you, he starts giving me my $8 and some change back. So he's running out of gas. So he goes back to the gas station, and he puts $3 more into the gas tank with my $3, and then offers me, and then buys some gum at the stand, and offers me gum. I guess I forgot. On the way there, he was chewing on a piece of gum, and I said, "Oh, can I have a piece of gum?" And he was like, "Oh, this is my last piece." So he pulls it out of his mouth like he gonna give it to me. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not gonna happen." So that was on the way to the movie. So on the way back, he remembered that I said I wanted that gum. So he decides to buy it with my money, to buy the 25 cent. It was only juicy fruit. 25 cent was really 25 cent back then. But the nerve of you to offer me a piece of the gum with my 25 cent. I'm feeling some kind of way, by the way, if you don't notice. I'm still mad about my $10. And then, when I didn't take it, he got upset. And we get back to the house because he's worried. Now, he done spent $3 more of my money without talking to me. I asked him for my change back. He goes, oh, you want the change? I was like, yes, I would like my change. He goes, so he pulls out the 5. He don't give me any of the change, but he gives me the 5 of the 10 that I have, that he has remaining. Anyway, he starts trying to kiss me. I leaped over the car so hard, I hurt my shoulder on this broke up door.
Oh my God.
Then he tells me he's scared that the door isn't locked all the way. Can I get out? He will crawl out, or he could crawl over me and open the door for me. I was like, I can get out myself. So I get out and I close the door, and he's trying to get out. So he catches the door and pushes it open. He's like, I don't get a hug or nothing. I'm like, no. So he gives me a hug, and he was so, all of this had got him so emotional that he was having VO. So he hugs me extra tight with body odor. And I'm like, I just went on the worst date of my life. I get home and my dad was like, how was your date and all of this? And I was just telling him, and everybody cracking up because, you know, I'm really into it at this time. I'm like, well, dude was Fred Flintstone. And they were like, well, what are you talking about, Fred Flintstone? I was like, you know how you run with the car? Like you move the car with your feet? I was like, well, his feet look like Fred Flintstone feet because they was running so fast. Anyway. Worst day ever. And he was serious. Called me every day for a while. Talking, can we go on another date? Absolutely not. Absolutely never.
That is horrendous.
Yep, bad.
Oh my God. I mean to laugh because it's hilarious, but that is still horrendous. Oh my God. That is the fact that he crawled out the car. That should have been your sign. This date should not take place. He crawled out the window of his car. Everything in you should have said, no.
I said we started.
You know what? Don't even worry about it.
But at that age, I was like, oh, it'll be okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the car looks awful and it looks like it's going to break down.
No, I can deal with the awful looking car. I'm okay with you being okay with that. I'm okay with you being okay with the car looks like it's gonna break down because, you know, he's a kid. Not even just things happen. He's a kid. He ain't gonna have a Lexus, so he's probably gonna have a beater. I got that. But dude, you had to crawl out the window. You Dukes of Hazzard your car, and this isn't the Dukes of Hazzard. Nah, this is over. Oh my God. Okay, let's move on because I want to get into some of these fun questions that you were excited about. But first, we got to talk a little bit about parenting because I want to talk about the second. No, I'm gonna call him the first love of your life. I want to talk about my godson, Mr. Tremendous. I'm so proud of him. He's going overseas for college. This dude said, "Screw America, we going to London." How shocking for you was that to get that information?
I probably told you this, but okay.
You did. That's why I had to ask the question.
My goodness. So, you know, he knew he was going to college. He went to a college prep high school, you know, NAIS, one of those schools. So private school cost me a fortune. So to graduate, you got to get accepted to college. So we knew he was going to get accepted, and I knew he was going to go. Like, that was all planned. I'm waiting for asking him where he's going to apply and all this. He's not really saying much. He tells me like Oklahoma University and some BS schools. And not that those are great schools. I'm not knocking those schools. I'm just saying he just says some schools. So I'm like, okay, I have rules. So I tell him that he cannot go to a school. He swears I said within 2 states. I said within 2 hours, but my kid has selective hearing, so whatever. Within 2 hours of home. But he swears I said within 2 states. Either one is fine, whatever. But I wouldn't send him necessarily 2 states away. I just didn't want him to be really right close, and I have my reasons. But fast forward. I'm sitting downstairs, regular day, reading my book in my chair downstairs, something like this. But this is our media room. I know it's well lit up, but it gets dark. And so downstairs, I'm in the family room, right in front of the kitchen, normal place. So I'm sitting there. Brown reclining chairs, sofas, and blah, blah, blah. doing my usual. Everybody got that spot in their house. And he screams down the stairs, "Mom, we have early decision." And I'm like, we didn't have this when I was growing up, but I did know because I was keeping up on time. So I know what early decision is. For all of y'all that don't know, it's when the school selects you to go right away. When you apply, basically within a week of you applying, long before they make everybody else's decisions, your grades, your stats, your whatever, meet their qualifications enough that they decide they want you enough that they will give you first choice to come to them. They're saying you're accepted, and to give them the early decision to attend, will you accept us first and decline all other schools? That's early decision. You made your decision super early to go to them. And you put it in writing, and you put down some money to secure that as a deposit. So if you go back on that, I was about to say renege, but I'm trying to do better with vocabulary because it has meanings. But anyway, then you lose your deposit. And they try to make it not horribly painful, but substantial. So like $1,000 or something like that. So he's like, early decision. I was like, where'd you get accepted? Where early decision? Come here. So, because, we're still ghetto parents. We yell back and forth here. And my last two houses, we had intercoms, and I still yelled. I wasn't getting up to push the intercom. I'm like, if I can get up and push the intercom, I can get all the way up. So I was all about screaming. So,
You never thought about just taking your phone and calling him? Because I know he has his own phone. You could have just.
We do that sometimes when he acts like he can't hear me, when his selective amnesia, his selective hearing kick in. But for this moment, we're still old school. I'm yelling up the stairs like our parents did us. So I'm yelling up. So he bounces down the stairs, and he's like, "Mom, what? Oh, yeah, Holt." I was like, "Where is Holt?" He's like, "Yeah, Holt is International Business School in London." What? What did you say? You applied to a school in London? Oh, yeah, Mom. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's a little more than 2 states away.
I was like, what are you saying? And you want a decision today? When does early decision due? Tomorrow? I was like, you don't have to tell them. I was so through. I was just in awe, like, we doing international? How many international schools did you apply to? He's like, a couple. I was too through. I didn't even know we were doing international, but, I wrapped my mind around it. This is how kids tell. I felt like when I told my grandmother that I needed pom-poms for cheerleading, and I was like, yeah, it's at 9 o'clock, and it was like 9 p.m. that night, and it was like 9 a.m. the next day. I needed the pom-poms, and she's like, there's no place open, but we went to Toys R Us anyway. I felt like that. I was just totally like unprepared. My face was, you should. It was just like, are you kidding me? We're not doing that. Like, I really had that. Like, I think I said all that out loud. He was like, I can't go. And my heart broke. And I was like, you can go anywhere you want to. But damn, all the way to London? It took a while. I think I'm still, like, I'm better. But the first couple of weeks of that, I was like, I don't want him to go to London. Like, it was a process. They meet with you, though, as a parent, and they give you all of the play-by-play of all the great things. And so it was the school and all of their opportunities that really talked me into it. But yeah, it's still hard. And I only had one. So, I totally understand air and spare, but I didn't do this right. So I'm like, all my eggs is in one basket. I'm like, go wrong. Yeah. Nothing can go too wrong. I mean, he can come back and all that, but as long as he comes in one piece, if he don't like it, he comes back. He loves it, great. I think he'll do fine. They have a really unique curriculum. I think he'll be great there, but yeah.
He's your kid. Of course he'll do great. There's not a place that I don't think he can excel in.
I actually had moments where I was like almost in tears, where I was trying to think of, like, you prepare that Virgo mind, preparing for the worst case. I was like, let me look up the flight. Let me look up the time. No matter the finances, it's crazy, but that's okay. No matter the finances, I can't get to him in 24 hours. Like, it's no way. I was like, it's going to be the earliest. And that's if time, like, the world revolves pretty decently, right, would be like 38 hours. And so just go ahead and put 2 days in there on the average. I can do, because let's say I find out there's a crisis today, I can fly out tomorrow and get there like in 14 hours or something crazy. So that's crazy.
Yeah. This is a big move. This is a big move.
Right.
But again, I say he got all your genes. And so there's no way he won't succeed. Like, he is set up to succeed with any place he goes, with whatever he chooses to do. That young man going to succeed.
Yeah, he's doing great. I'm really excited for him. And it's right up his alley to go and explore and do things, and he'll be able to fly all over. He's had his passport for forever. So we already put down his, they call them lofts there. He actually has a studio loft. I'm like, wait, we did this wrong. I don't know. I'm scrolling.
Right.
But that's what they do down there. So he has like a kitchen. It's a studio loft. He has a whole apartment to himself, a little apartment. I'm like, already? I'm like, I started out in a dorm room, but they don't do
yes.
that there.
With a roommate who I didn't like.
Call him flat. Oh, I didn't like my roommate either. That was my first and last roommate.
I almost punched my roommate. I became an RA after that. That's how bad I wanted to rule over people as opposed to room with people.
For hitting assault is less. Yeah, I hit that bitch with a telephone.
Imagine how to calculate. First of all, you would have to admit who. You never said who. So somebody can come and say it was me. No, it wasn't you. You never said who.
Clocked her in the head with a telephone. Yeah, she was crazy. She tried to lock me out of my own room. Yeah, so that didn't work.
I had that. I had that experience.
Yeah, but I'm not saying for that. That didn't work. And so yeah, that reminds me of the one, the girl on school where the girl was putting whatever in her water and made her sick, a herpes. Something like, I would have been under the jail. See, this is some things that my dad used to say, things that are worth going to jail for. I would have either got away with it or I would have had.
I'm getting away with it. See,
I have been on the news talking about it because it would have been nothing to talk about. She would have been missing. She would have been one of these girls missing. I'd have been like, well, somebody must have broke into the room and took her because I don't know. But yeah, no, I clocked mine in the head. We had those big white telephones that you hung, still hung up on. She got.
I had my across the hall room. I guess you call it neighbor. I had him scare my roommate into opening the door. He thought because he wanted to have sex with some skank that he had met in the room that I was also in, that he could also lock me out, and I was one of those, I'm okay with it. I said, no, both of you have rooms. Go to her room. Well, boys aren't allowed in her room. Well, she can't stay here. You better go make a public spectacle on the lawn or the lobby. Something, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to sleep. No, you saw the sock. I said, get him to open his door. And as soon as the football player knocked, he knew the knock. And so he opened the door, and I came right behind the thanks. And I walked up to him and I said, so here's what's going to happen. Either you're going to get out with her and do whatever you got to do and stay away from me until tomorrow morning, or I'm going to embarrass you in front of your girl. And I might just beat you with her. Needless to say, he left the room. And I locked him out. And to make sure he couldn't get back in, I pushed the desk in front of the door. So there's no way he was getting back in that night. Yeah.
She just said that I would come in late because I was being in soccer all the time studying. She was like, she needed her sleep. And she didn't feel like I should be there. So I don't even remember what she did. She like put something in front of, I couldn't get in my room. So after I finally got in the room, she said, I can't remember what she said, crazy. We had a board where you put who called, and she had, and I had little notes, and she had erased it all and was like, well, I'm not your secretary. And I was like, look, I didn't ask you to, you don't have to take the messages, move. And some of her clothes was on my bed, and I slept on the top. Anyway, that didn't go well. She got in my face. She was yelling and screaming, and I told her stop, and I snapped. I remember thinking, I'm tired. She's lost her mind. I'm not arguing back and forth with her. She got a few seconds to get out of my face, and I was arguing with her loudly, and then I went quiet. Everybody know if I go completely quiet, run. She missed the memo, and she got clocked in the head with that phone.
Most of your best stories start with, and then I snapped. Because it's going to happen.
I remember it, and you can feel it. Like some people, I don't know how other people do, but I literally feel the switch. It clicks, and I'm very much aware, and it's too late. I don't even want to hear nothing else. And she was like this close in my face, though, like really in my face, and she like must have hit the phone or something, and that was it. That was all. She got hit. She went to sleep real well. She slept real well right there on the floor.
That's before we do about concussions.
I didn't care. I didn't know about them, but I was okay. She would have got one anyway. Getting in my face, locking me out of my room, and then yelling and screaming. Girl, that was crazy. But anyway, from that I knew I don't need roommates. I didn't have very many. The next time I had a roommate, it was one of my really good friends, and we had an apartment with 2 separate bedrooms. So, all the years in between, all 3 or 4 years in between, it was me by myself.
So I'm gonna ask 2 more serious questions. We're gonna get to this fun stuff before that way. At the very least, I'm no longer than 2.5 hours. I said an hour and a half. We can go an hour over. I love it. I don't really care, but you know,
can cut out stuff. Just delete stuff.
I'm not cutting out nothing. I don't edit this. Like this stays. This is what it is. And the only way I'm editing it is if I decide to break this into parts, and I'm only cutting it off at a part and then picking it up at the same place in the next part. So, but no, this ain't gonna be edit what? No, that's not what I do. You ought to be glad this ain't live. You ought to be glad I didn't go live with this one and do it live, because this would be 3-4 hours easy. Because the folks who come in, they'll start asking questions. It's a whole thing. It's fun. But yeah. But I knew with the time difference, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that, because there's a time difference, and this is a weekday. Normally, my lives that I do on Saturday after I finish service, and so I don't really care, because I ain't got nothing to do on Sunday mornings. So I will be up till 1 o'clock in the morning doing this and be fine. But
maybe a short live if people really bug you or have a lot of questions. I don't know. We'll see. Go for it, though. What's your next question?
Okay. This one I asked before a couple of days ago when we talked, when you was worried about what kind of questions I was going to ask. It just came up, and I loved your response so much that I was like, I'm making sure I ask this during the interview. Are you excited to be an empty nester? Because y'all about to be empty nesters. Y'all be able to walk around the house naked and everything, and be all through the house, and you know he gone. Are you excited now for that freedom?
No, hell no. I think that's shit should be parents say. Look, if you love your child, not even just love your child, but if you really enjoy parenting and you understand what it's like to be at this age at 18, you don't want your child to be kicked out of the street and going in and doing that. I want my baby with me. If the only reason that I'm learning to be okay with him going anywhere, let alone London, is because I know it's good for him. And as a parent, you sacrifice for them. But if I was being true to myself, I'd be selfish. I'd be like, yeah, college is out. You're just going to stay at home. I got enough money. We got this. Like, no, I want to spend time with I actually enjoy my kid. I actually enjoy hanging with him and doing stuff with him. And he's really funny. No, I want my kid here. But that's not what helps people grow, right? So that wouldn't be good for him. That would be stunting, in so many ways. And I want him to have that independence. I want him to become the man he's supposed to be. So I will give a little push, but I wholeheartedly hope he comes back and saves money and lives in our house or something or whatever. But no, there's no desire to be empty nesters. If I wanted to, no, hell no. No, I want my baby here. 100%. I'm like always laughing at parents. It's like, yeah, when he turned 18, the day he turned 18, I'm putting him out. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, no, they're not ready for the world. And don't you even like your kid? Like, really?
See, I didn't say it's on the phone because I was waiting to do this on the podcast. I actually was excited to be an empty nester. I love Ashley. I love her to pieces. She is a blast to be around. She's good people. She has grown to be a wonderful woman, and she's a good mother. So I love her. However, I enjoy being an empty nester. Falana wasn't good with it at first, but she now enjoys being like, for real? What?
Different phases. And I tell everybody this, if you have a baby, and that's the one thing I could go back and I think parents that do it the second time are just in a different mindset, but enjoy every phase. It feels like forever in that phase, but as soon as you're past that phase, you miss it so much. So I'm sure in the next phase, when he's not here and I'm not worrying about what time he's going to get home, if he's going to get pulled over, what he's doing, all of those things, I'll find enjoyment in that phase. But looking into that phase right now, I feel like that's gonna be torture.
When does not worrying about them kick in? Because she's almost 30, and I still worry about her.
I know.
Like at all times. However, I don't want. No.
Up late till they get in the house.
It's worse.
Oh, no.
Because see, staying up late till she get. First of all, actually wasn't. No, that's not. She stay out late. What? No, I can't. We have a store in this house, and I go out looking. No, what you're not gonna do? If I got to come find you, I'm ending up on the 6 o'clock news because everybody with you're gonna be alive, but everybody with you got to go. You will have survivor's guilt because you caused this. You made your daddy walk out this house and come find you, and you ought to be glad that daddy came and found you. Because if your mama had to come and find you, it's a whole other issue you're gonna deal with. So not that way.
I actually had to find Trey one time. That's only once. We had a come to Jesus moment. He's good. We're good. It's been great ever since. But once.
We didn't have to go find Ashley. We knew where she was at.
Well, I knew where she was at.
She was late. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Flan had to show up. She had to show. It was late. She had to show up.
Showed up and then showed out. He had the FAFO 100%. He was like, he even said like he was crying. My mom is crazy. His friends know better. Like they're like, Trey is right here. Like they don't play.
Oh, after that moment, her friends learned that what you're not gonna do, whatever shenanigans y'all gonna be into. This one here, you kick her out because she ain't gonna be part of this crap. Because all of y'all are going to deal with the consequences. Because we're both old school. We beat other people's kids too. So we believe in corporal punishment. We beat ours and yours. So this is what's gonna happen. So if you are okay with getting this whooping that's coming your way, have my daughter in some shenanigans. But like, it's worse now because I can't say to her, "Get your butt home." Because she grown. So now it's like, ooh, all right. And she now has the choice as to whether or not to call me for an emergency or call her mama for an emergency. So we're like, if we don't hear from her in a certain amount of days, it's like, I got to find out if she's still alive. What the heck is going on? Let me call and text her. Let me see because if we got to show up to the house, we got to show up to this house because we ain't heard from you. All of your neighbors are gonna know our name. This is what's gonna happen. So the worry never stops. And actually, for me anyway, it is worse.
It's getting more okay. Dang.
But being in the house though, where I can go into any room I want, I don't have to. When I wake up in the morning, and if I want to go to the kitchen to get something from the refrigerator first thing in the morning, I don't have to put on pants or a robe or nothing. I can just walk out the door and not have to worry about. That's wonderful. Yes, I can sit down and watch what I want to watch without having to hear 1,000,001 questions about why I'm watching it, or hey, I would like to watch this on the big screen even though you got a TV in your own doggone room. No,
Trey mostly hangs out in the media room, and I mostly hang out downstairs. But either way, I don't like TV, so we don't have those kind of things. If anything, I try to come up to sit with him because he never sits with me and make him watch something he's watching. Like, oh, we watching this. He's in the anime, so we do something like that. But I get it, and I don't know. Too many rooms. I like it. I'm not ready.
Oh, see, that's what it is. I know what it is. That's what it is. You got a lot of rooms in the house, so you don't have to. We don't have that. We don't have a whole lot of rooms. So all the rooms now are wonderful because they're unoccupied. But when you have a lot of rooms, I guess it feels like all the rooms are unoccupied because it takes a while to go into a room where someone else at. So you always technically an empty nester without being an empty nester. That's not my kid. That's not my testimony. I love her. And she knows she can always come back home. Just not for too long. No, I'm playing. And I specifically asked that question because I love the response. I love the hell no. Loved it. So I lied. I wasn't going to do two. I did one. I want to go right into it. I'm a ease you with two easy questions, and then we're gonna go to the game that my wife loves and hates, and she always cringes at when I play on the podcast, whether it be the podcast or the interview. Pick your poison.
Ooh.
And what you can't see underneath is it's the After Dark edition, and see, because it's green,
Oh.
it's got got a green screen, so it's you can't really see it, but it's the After Dark edition, which means these questions are
Naughty.
not just naughty, they're disgusting. The if you have a weak stomach or are under 30 years old, you probably should now turn the podcast off, because you ain't gonna like none of this. You ain't gonna like none of this. The easy question you're gonna like, but after that, you ain't gonna like none of this. You ain't gonna like none of this. So here's your easy question. In your opinion, who is the greatest TV mom and the greatest TV couple? I know you say you don't watch a whole lot of TV, but I know you watched some when you was a kid, so
I
you can
did.
go back to them.
Oh, no, yeah. In all the 80s and 90s, TV raised us. Greatest TV mom and dad. I'm going to have to give it to the Huxtables.
I hate that answer so
Don't
much.
hate on that one. I love the Huxtables. I don't care. Cosby raised me. I don't know what. I can't argue with his today and his things, but as far as two parents that were both really good parents, sent their kids to school.
Were they though?
Right, raised them right. Weren't they?
Which
no.
one of them? All of them kids they sent to college. Which one of them graduated?
I know. I looked at that the other day, but that was because it was sitcom funny, but not funny. Well, then, okay. But no, but those parents were good. I do like Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil.
Which Aunt Viv?
Good. The black Aunt Viv.
See, I didn't like her.
You like the light one?
Much better than I liked the black one. I liked the black one's role and her strength as a mom. Mm-hmm. I hated her, the actual actress. I hated how she played the role.
Oh.
I liked how the second Aunt Viv played the role, but I hated the role she was put in. Like a lot of what Aunt Viv was at the beginning was diminished. Like Aunt Viv had her own career, and she was a go-getter and the whole nine as black Aunt Viv. As light-skinned Aunt Viv, she was just a house mom.
Right.
And had no ambition of her own, no goals of her own. It was just, little Nikki. That's all she cared about. And so I hated the role that she had, but the way she played it was wonderful. I hate Claire as a wife. I'm okay with the picture of her, with her being the best TV mom. I give you that.
Mom. I can see.
Except for, I feel like she should have slapped the hell out of Denise. I'm sorry, not Denise, Vanessa, with the Wretched and the Baltimore and have the big fun. I play that scene in my head all the time. Like, it would have been so much more powerful.
It's black people on TV back at that point.
You couldn't call your child stupid before that on TV at that time. And not when the Cosby Show first started. And the very first episode, that they had this warm, tender moment, which is the episode that kind of launched it, but distinguished them as different. Had this warm, tender moment where Theo was pulling C's and D's in school, and and Cliff comes in to have the conversation with him, and he's like, "Dad, I'm just trying to be a normal person, regular person." Da 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 da. And the audience claps, and it's wonderful. And there's this pause, and Cliff has the soft voice, goes, "Theo." That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you getting D's and everything. I was like, now that's a real family. You couldn't do that before then. So when Vanessa had the big fun with the Wretched, and she told her to shut up and go to bed, and she said something, and she walked up on her in her face and then smacked the piss out of her, I was like, that's not a real mama. A real black mom would have knocked her out. As angry as she was, I'd knocked out. Yeah. No. But as a mother, other than that, she was great. As a couple, no, they were a horrible couple. See, I picked up on things.
Were really good too.
I refuse to give Moesha any credit for anything because I don't like Brandy.
But I like that you said mom and dad. You didn't say the main star.
I know, but anything associated with Brandy is tainted for me.
Who is your favorite TV mom and dad?
I know the tables are going to turn on me on that one because I really hadn't even thought about it. I just know it can't be Moesha because Brandy's involved, and Brandy's is an unrepentant murderer, and so I'm not okay with that.
She went to college. Her son, the little boy went to college.
No, you're talking about Moesha the character. I'm talking about Brandy the actress. I don't like anything Brandy the actress has done. I can't.
Okay.
when you're unrepentant like that, I can't. That which is why Cliff Huxtable will never be again the greatest TV dad, because Bill Cosby is unrepentant in all the stuff he's done. So nope, I refuse.
Well, I know. I think the worst parents are Love and Marriage, Married with Children.
Married with Children, the Bundys. No. Yeah. The worst parents are the Winslows.
Really?
Judy went upstairs and was never heard from again. Not only did Judy go upstairs and we never heard from her again, they also okayed bad parenting, because Rachel left little Richie there and we never saw her again. She never called that little bum. She never went to nothing he did. He was just out there basically calling Harriet and Carl mom and dad because mama left him. And nobody talked about that. Nobody talks about Judy. They even took all the pictures down of Judy. I think they sold Judy and nobody talks about it. Carl was a hothead who didn't know how to control. He allowed his daughter to be SA'd the entire series. Everything Steve did was SA in nowadays terms.
He didn't touch her. He just fell in love with her.
He didn't touch her?
Maybe
he didn't touch her. He stole a few different kisses. He harassed her on numerous occasions. He stalked her. He ruined dates. He broke into the house on numerous occasions. There were numerous occasions where he was in her room at night while she was sleeping. He's just standing over her looking at her. Then he catfished her, which is emotional manipulation, because he became Stefan or Kale in order to get her to fall in love with Steve. Nah, what we ain't gonna do is and Carl knew this as a cop and said nothing. I refuse to give the Winslows anything. Nah, nope. Worst parents.
I did not put them as my favorite. I never said.
I know, but you said that the Bundys were worse than them, and they weren't, because the Bundys were just poor trash. But they loved them kids. I'll beat up every dude that tried to hit on his daughter. He tried to encourage his. No, when he found out about it, every time he found out, you don't have to censor yourself. I just censored the SA because YouTube and or Facebook will take it down after.
He let her get F's in class.
Oh, F's. Okay, I thought you said no. He didn't let her. She was just stupid, and they dealt with her stupidity, because by the time it was done, she went from dingy blonde to near business owner. She had all kinds of jobs and was a lot smarter in life and the whole nine. So they did an excellent job trying to raise those ratty children. Bud went from a horny, I need to get in touch everybody and be a stalking, I should be in jail little kid, to wind up being a halfway decent man. The Bundys were regular people.
Okay.
They were a horrible married couple, but as parents, they weren't bad. The Windsors were the worst. Now the best TV mom, or the best TV couple. I'm sorry.
You said mom and dad, not couple. You said mom and dad.
Oh yeah, sorry. The best TV mom and dad. I might, considering the circumstances, I might have to pick the Connors. I might have to pick Roseanne and Dan.
Yeah,
they did a whole lot with a little.
They did.
They weren't bad. They had a very tight family unit. Darlene was.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
I think I might. I know black folks are gonna be mad because I'm not picking a black couple, but
they don't
I can't think of one.
There may not be one good on TV, but I like the ones I liked. I'm holding to the ones I like. You don't have to like them.
I love the show.
No, I'm not saying just the show. I meant at least they were showing black wealth and helping kids and trying to get them to go to school and college.
I loved all of that, but they were failures. All of the Huxtable children were failures. Vanessa married the first dude to smile at her. Denise married the first dude to smile at her. Sandra, who we never knew existed for almost the entire first season. That's how much they loved her. She married the first dude that smiled at her. Theo, they didn't realize and they didn't understand that he wasn't stupid. He was just struggling because he was dyslexic. But even if you didn't understand dyslexia, they didn't understand that this was a struggle and not him just being stupid till he was almost a doggone adult. That's not good parenting. And then they let Rudy be allowed to feel abandoned because ugly Raven Simone came on. So, no, they were horrible parents. I refuse, and I can't. And I find it hard to even put the Banks as great parents. I would put Phil as a great dad, but I don't know if I'd make them a great couple. I'm not sold on that. I'm sorry. I don't think we're good.
School,
that was money that sent them to private school. That's not really being a good parent. That's.
And they made sure they studied, and he got him out of trouble, and he represented him, and he helped him.
But some of the things that they got in trouble with, should he got him out of trouble from? Shouldn't he let them bear some of the consequence of their actions for some of the stuff they did, like when they stole that car? I mean,
maybe return the car and make them work for the rest of the summer. I don't know. There's other ways. I don't think you got to let somebody full out fail, especially a child. It depends. There are times, especially if it's becoming a thing. But I think for parents, you're supposed to help your kid within reason. You can't raise demon kids, but you're supposed to help. You can punish them. You don't need society to punish them. You can punish them.
But true. But what I also look at is like Will. They paid more attention to Will and less attention to Carlton. And so all of their effort was put into Will, and Will had a wonderful arc. He went from a Philly idiot to, hey, he's a decent man. And Carlton was on drugs, shot somebody, or was getting ready, shot Will, and was getting ready to shoot somebody else. He did a lot of dumb stuff that nobody talks about because Will was so good. Hillary, come on now. Come on. There was no arc for her. No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
She failed at her catering business. She failed horribly at it. The first time she did it, she talked Will and Carlton, everybody, into bailing her out, and you never really see her do anything catering again. Like, there's no real talk about her doing it. So no, she failed. And then there's Ashley, who was neglected, especially when Raggedy Little Nicky came along. I find that one, their arc is downward. They start off high, but just downward trajectory. But yeah, so we go to pick your poison.
I agree, Connors was good. Rosie, your
I'm gonna randomly select two from here, because this is how it goes. I'm just randomly selecting them. So I'm letting you see how I'm randomly selecting them. I'm not looked at one, and I'm shuffling them as I go. So we'll pick your poison. This is a would you rather. Let's see. Would you rather have your nude photo printed on the front page of the New York Times, or be immediately hated by anyone you kiss? And it doesn't say kiss on the lips, by anyone you kiss, period. Cheek kiss, forehead kiss, kiss on the lips, kiss on the hands.
It's like the Midas touch, but I'd rather have the Midas touch or have my nude posted on the front page of the Times. I'd rather have my nude posted on the front page of the Times.
And why is that?
I might get paid. I'm going to be, look, we going all out. We just go to Playboy. I got nice tits. We'll just go to Playboy and call it a day. We working with it.
I'm with you, but for different reasons.
I don't think I want to live a life without certain amounts of affection, and not like French kiss, but like I want to be able to hug and kiss my son. I want to be able to share some kind of bond. There's oxytocin and lots of hormones that are exchanged, and it's good for life. They even talk about how if you kiss your spouse daily, that your life will be longer. So I just think that it would be a very difficult life to go without any kisses. And the people I want to kiss, I don't want to hate me. So I kind of rationalize, can I live a life without any kisses anymore and be happy? Or could I just, show it all to front page times? We gonna let it all be. It'll be all right.
See, I have the same answer, different rationale.
Okay.
Nobody reads the newspaper anymore, so it could be on the front page of the New York Times. Ain't nobody seen it, so
So it's true.
go on ahead and show it. Okay, we're gonna go from trying to make sure. There we go. I got to get the angle right. So we're gonna go from. I'm gonna go from here to this one here, and then let's go here. So you can see these are all just. So you see, I'm doing it random. So whatever these are, I don't know what they are. Okay. These aren't as bad, but one is painful. One is
Your face. You gotta read it now. Your face said it. Oh.
Would you rather use a power drill to remove 3 of your own teeth without anesthetic? See, and that's why I made that face. Or have a random citizen selected as the world's all-powerful ruler?
Well, we already got the second. We might as well do it again. We gonna just go with that. That's what we doing. We gonna 2 times is a charm. We already did it twice. We can do it a 3rd time. Let's go.
I'm with you. I can't take that kind of pain. I can't do it. Okay. I can't do it. I swear to God, I can't do it. Let's go underneath at the bottom. Let's pick us a bottom. Here we go. This is why I love this game. This is the type of question I would normally. I normally will pick these out ahead of time, and I will always pick out some of the most disgusting ones just because I have fun watching the people's reactions. And so here, this is one. So, would you rather have a penis for a tongue, or be in the middle of a human centipede?
A penis for a tongue? We ain't even gotta go with it. Like what?
Of course I would have a penis for a tongue, because...
Yeah. Hey, look. Tongues go. Penises go. We'll be all right. It'll work.
I don't... Now, being that you are married to a... Being that you are married to a man, I don't think Scott would like that. But I think he would like it better than you being in the middle of this human centipede. See, I'm a dude, so I think Philanda would like...
I don't know. And maybe we just have to change up and add some spice to the life. He probably would be like, no, but we can borrow a woman something. We'll figure it out.
Let's get a couple more. Let's go here. Let's go up the top. Let's pick us a top this time. Scott, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
A clit is just a mini dick anyway, so that'd be all right.
It's a mini one, but it's not a tongue one, and it just and that doesn't have to be in my mouth when I kiss you.
Guys like things that are erotic and new and different. I don't know what Scott.
Not like that. Right, not like that.
I'm gonna say no, but you know what? He loves me. We'll work it out. Or
he loves you, but you ain't kissing him no more. That's what's gonna happen. And so you will have. And I'm also quite positive that I don't think Trey's gonna want you to kiss him either. And I know you're not using your tongue when you kiss him, but still, it's still in your mouth.
Nobody has to see your tongue. That is not something you normally show.
If anybody who looks at you when you talk can see your tongue. If you are a person if you're a person who it doesn't have to even be that good. If I see a little mushroom there, what is that? Are you sure? What's that in your mouth?
It's a tongue ring. Let's keep it moving. Like I don't know.
That's not a tongue ring. That looks like a helmet. What the hell is? What is wrong with it?
It's okay. I bet. Look, if he don't, well, one person won't, another person will. We'll find somebody that's okay with it. I'll find somebody.
All right. So, would you rather only be able to wear clothes patterned with obscene hentai, or only be able to drink liquids that have been gargled by another person.
Clothes with obscene sex scenes. Yep, sure am. Yep, going with.
Yep. Yeah. It's not even close. It's not even.
I want to wear those
close.
really now. It's just not socially acceptable. But if I have to, we're good.
I'm going to cheat now. I'm not even going to pick up a random. I got to pick something I know is going to get some kind of reaction now because this is. Let's see. Let's see. What's the other one? Let's see. No, because you do that anyway. Oh, here we go. This will be interesting. Now, remember, y'all, I said if you under 30, you probably shouldn't be watching the rest of this broadcast. This is on you. This is on you if you're still here. Would you rather have your mom rub your shoulders and provide words of encouragement every time you have sex, or buy and use secondhand anal beads?
Oh shit! Like literally. All right, so I'm buying and using the secondhand anal beads. So gross. I figure I have great cleaning skills. I'm gonna figure out a way to perfectly sanitize them and make them like new. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. And if not, it's shitty up there anyway, so we good.
I am on the opposite of you. I will deal with the shoulders and get the words of encouragement.
Oh, okay, so baby, keep it up. Yeah, that's right. Don't get stay home. Mm-hmm. Oh, honey. Yes, that's right. Philanda.
And I'm
ride him, Philanda. No.
And let me tell you why.
Yes, sex. Your sex life over. You and Black, we never have it.
Well, I mean that might be a consequence, and one I don't want to deal with. But you know, first of all, ain't nothing wrong. They always say there's nothing like a mom's encouragement. So, so let's start with that.
I'm not giving up on sex, and I would prefer. You know, there's things that I prefer her not to have to be there. I mean, if she, yeah, I'm just saying.
I would prefer for her not to have to be there, but I'm not putting nothing up my butt because it said buy and use. See, I don't have a problem with having to buy the secondhand. I'm not using them, clean or dirty.
Yeah, I could.
Yes, because you know it can go up your. Mine is an exit only, and what I cannot do. Nope, not at all.
Oh shoot. Fair enough. I forget that from a guy's perspective, it's a little different, but we rolling with the anal beads. It'll be all right.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna see how.
I'm not living a sex life. Like what is going on here? No.
I'm gonna see. I'm getting ready to test you. I'm getting ready to test your
resolve.
I'm getting ready to because one just came up.
All right.
Would you rather lick between the unclean fat folds of a morbidly obese person and you cannot clean them before you lick, or get your anus fingered by someone who ate hot wings and they didn't clean their fingers? Yeah, let's test that resolve now.
Yeah, I'm still taking the fingers in the ass. Hot wings and all this is on fire. Fire. It's fire. Woo, it's on fire. It'll be all right. The fire will die down and I will heal. I don't know what the hell they got between them. This bacteria. I'm gonna be having typhoid focolocus. No, we taking that. We taking the hot ass all day, every day. It'll be burning, but it'll cool off.
Nope. I'm gonna have to lick the folds and just deal with it. Because again, listen. In the words of Cat Williams, you've got to protect the virgin hole. I can't. What I'm not gonna do. There's almost nothing on here that's gonna make me pick anything going up. No, got to protect it. Nope.
Oh well.
Here's
I'll be hot tamale. It's gonna be on fire. It'll be all right.
Okay, count me down because I'm gonna go. I'm only after this. I'm only gonna do three more. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to end it on those last three, and we may have to come back for a second because I got some other questions I ain't asked, but we may have to do a part two of this sometime down the road because I'm gonna keep these questions. But okay, here we go. Would you rather be forced to lick every doorknob you ever use, or walk in on your parents having a threesome with your best friend?
I want to see the threesome. I'm a voyeur anyway. I like watching sex. I mean, I'm not really gunning for that one, but hey, I can just
He said not good for that.
I just
No.
negotiate. It'll be okay. Besides, not that I want to see my best friend do anything, but she's not ugly. It'll be all right.
No. Let me read that again because I think you missed a portion of it.
They gonna be having sex with her, my parents having sex with my best friend.
Yes, with your parents.
It'll be all
Yes,
right.
that's the
It'll
part.
be
That's
all
the
right.
part.
It's still sex. I'll disassociate.
Ain't that for me? There's not that much disassociation or therapy in the world. Let me get to licking. Nope, I'll be all right.
And pretend like it's a porno where I zoomed in on just the body part.
I just won't ever use a doorknob. That's all. Whatever room I'm in for the rest of my life, or I'm climbing in and out of windows.
No, doorknobs is so nasty. I can't do it.
No, I'm not licking the doorknob. My loophole is I won't ever go out of the room I'm in, or I'm climbing in and out of windows. Windows don't have knobs, so I ain't got to lick that. The bathroom door will always stay open.
We're not gonna be trapped in the closet like R. Kelly. Now we getting out, and I'm not licking no doorknobs. I don't know. I think
I'm not trapped. I got windows that open.
I'm going to just
The bathroom.
watch sex one time and be done. It's not that scarring. You'll be okay.
And for me, I am very rarely ever alone anyway. I'll let other folks open the door for me.
I'm gonna just watch it one time and be free. Oh, it's all right. Whatever therapy can't cure, it'll be okay.
Nope.
Worst thing
Ain't that much
happen.
therapy in the world.
What
Nope.
about, I mean, some people have had to watch their parents. Like if you were a porno artist or something, not that my parents were, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Nope. Can't do it. Nope.
Well, you're opposite on everything. I think you're just trying to be difficult. All right, come on, two more.
No, I'm not. That's not being difficult. That is no. I've seen my parents in clothes, and I don't want to see them out of clothes for any reason whatsoever. My best friend in the world, though he's dead too, is my boy Russell, and I've seen him without a shirt on. I don't ever want to see him. No. Nope. I love my boy Rut. He was my brother for sure. But no. I have to go to jail now. Everybody got to be put 6 feet deep. Everybody.
Oh my goodness.
I got a Menendez brothers and him. No, yeah, everybody. No, because what's never gonna happen is y'all are never gonna have a conversation about this. Nobody's ever gonna tell me, and I can't look at y'all ever again. So the easiest way for me to never look at y'all ever again, wipe y'all out.
No,
That's how this got to work.
Just pretend it didn't happen like other people and move forward. It'll be all right.
I ain't other people. I will remember that for the rest of my life, and I need something more. I need something more traumatic to replace that memory. And the most traumatic thing I can think of is doing a 619 on them. That's how it's got to go. I'm sorry, that's 619. That's wrestling. A 187. I got to do a 187 on all of them. See, that's how messed up it is right now. It didn't even happen, and I couldn't even get the numbers straight. I'm trying to use numbers so I don't get banned and stuff by Facebook and by YouTube, and so I'm trying to make sure I'm using the right stuff. I'm trying to alternate how I do it, and so I came out Rey Mysterio Jr. as opposed to 187. Nope. Now this one ain't disgusting, but it's interesting.
Okay.
So would you rather have cancer, but nobody believes you, or forget every happy memory you ever had?
I'm taking cancer. I think vibrations can cure it. Look, it's all right. You ain't got to believe me because I ain't going to want to tell nobody if I got cancer anyway. You don't got to believe me because I don't need you to. I want to have a good life. I'm getting cancer.
Okay.
Only time you need somebody to truly believe you is if you want them to have sympathy. I don't, and the doctor don't need to believe me because I don't believe they can cure me anyway. I'm going to go and play with frequencies and see if I can fix my damn self. Fuck it.
Okay. I don't want any kind of cancer.
So you can go with every happy memory? Yeah, nah, I'm keeping them.
I'm trying. See, here's the problem with a me. I don't really remember too many of them as is anyway. My brain, that's not how my brain works now.
You got you need, so let's not.
I've been just trying to make new ones. Like, I don't. As long as the people don't forget. See, the people who are also involved in the happy memory, y'all can keep reminding me. Cause okay, so think of it like this, right? You have a bunch of happy memories, right? Okay. How often do you think about them? And two, how often do the people who are involved in those happy memories remind you of them? It's honestly not that often. You're too busy living life and making new memories. So
but
that's not much different.
Old memories.
Not always. You're just living life.
Maybe.
And so the only detriment would be is the current new memories that you're making that are happy, you immediately forget them. But I'm still trying to make new ones, so, you know.
I don't know. I think I'm just going to take cancer and take my chances.
I can't do cancer. My mama died from cancer. I can't do it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Nobody wants it. I don't think we raising our hands saying, give it to me, give it to me. It was just better than not having no memories. Okay. Yes, sir. Next, last one, I think.
Oh man, if this is gonna be the last one, I got to make this a really good one.
Well, I'm not saying that you gave me the action that give you some countdown. I'm more than willing.
That's because we're at 2 hours and 46 minutes so far.
Lord. You're not allowed to interview me no more.
Okay, this will be fun. This one has both kind of disgusting to it, but also interesting because they're essentially the exact same action, just done different ways. So this will be fun.
Okay.
Would you rather only be able to wipe your butt by scooting around on the carpet, or never be able to wipe your butt in the same room you pooped in?
Never be able to wipe my ass in the same room I pooped in. I'll go in another room and wipe my ass. It'll be all right.
Good chance that other people are going to be in that room, and or a good chance you have to walk past other people to get to the next room while you have the all the stains all on the crack just showing out, or worse yet, you pull up so you're not exposing yourself, and now you're sitting in.
Don't wipe and take a shower every time. It's a little inconvenient.
Very inconvenient, especially if you wind up getting the bubble guts out in public and you can't get to your home.
Fortunately, I suffer from constipation. I should be all right. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, scooting on the carpet. That thing.
I'm with you.
It's clean. Like, where we going with this? Leaving streaks wherever you stand up. Scoot a streak on the carpet. You gotta live and smell that.
And that's why I'm going with you. I'm going in different rooms because the first thing that hit my mind is wait a second. The only places in my house currently that have carpet is the room I'm in, which is my podcast room, and our bedroom. Everything else hardwood floors. And so I either got to smell poop when I'm trying to do a podcast or while I'm trying to sleep. Cause home is the only place that I'm letting go in. I don't do it in public. Men's bathrooms are the nastiest in the world. It has to be an extreme circumstance for me to even do it at work.
That's not. Look, my face all twisted up. Okay.
Oh, your face twisted up when I read the question, and that's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on one of them.
That sounds awful. That sounds horrible.
All right, so no, this is how we're gonna close. I'm gonna close out with this. I had it as 3. I'm gonna save two of them for Well, I want you to say two of them for the next time you get interviewed, because there's gonna have to be a part two to this. I can't let it end like this. But there's so many good questions that still sit left on this docket over here. We gonna close with this. We talked about you being crazy all throughout this podcast, all throughout this interview. Give me one of your top Magnificent is Crazy stories to close us out.
Oh God, top Magnificent is Crazy story. Oh, let's see. Something that I don't. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that
I'll
was
give you one, and then the next time around you can just come up with three more. I g-
I don't know. I don't know if I want all that out. What you go?
the one we talked about off air, the one one I love telling, the one that is Falana's favorite. You almost getting the guy arrested for stealing his own car.
It did happen. Okay.
She said that did happen.
I was hot headed in my 20s. I'm gonna just start that way a little bit, but this is in my 20s, and we still friends to this day. I'm not gonna say no names, but I was hot headed in my 20s. So I was dating this guy, and a girl he had promised to come in town came into town or whatever, and it went awry like things do when you're in your 20s and you got a guy who's overly sex driven. So anyway, after I tried to maybe toss this girl over a 22-story balcony, and he stopped me, he, deposited me somewhat nicely, not really roughly, but he picked me up and he deposited me outside of his apartment, and and so we're arguing back and forth because clearly more was going on than he was trying to be honest with, and I run past him and go back in the apartment. So he redeposits me out there and he snatches my key. And I said, well, forget this. I'm leaving. He doesn't want me to leave because he knows that is the coup de grace. I was done. We were going to be broke up, and I don't know what he was thinking. We was broke up anyway. At the moment I lost it and snapped, we were broke up. But in his mind, he thought he could salvage it and, apologize out of it. That's my word, apologize, because he wasn't going to truly apologize. He was going to lie about it. So apologize. And so he needed me to calm down because I had snapped and he was taking some hits too, punch to the nose. Anyway, he snatches my keys and he slams the door and he tells me to sit outside and think about it and cool off, and he'll come back out to talk to me when he thinks I've calmed down, because we're not leaving it like this. Oh, no. I was already well past the threshold of sane and well into the you are crazy as fuck stage. So So I think about it. So I pace for a few minutes, and my mind is very intelligent but very racing. So I'm coming up with millions of scenarios, and then it dawns on me in my thing that I have his keys to his car and his keys to his house in my car downstairs. Now the only thing is that I locked the doors. No, I did not. So I go downstairs to, I think I walked the stairs because I was trying to also calm myself down. I get his keys to his car, and initially I was going to go back up, but I decided not to. So I decided it's better to take his car and go home. I actually ended up going to my mom's house. My mom helped me go back in her car where we had hid his car for temporary. I tell him I've cooled down. I lie. I don't remember what I said, but either way, I actually get a dude's number to get into the apartment illegally. Anyway, I'm upstairs again. He comes back out. He believes that I am calm and ready to talk to him and ready to forgive him. And I just continue to ask for my keys. I say, I'm sorry. I'm really calm. Can I please have my keys back? We can talk about this later. I'm just not in a good headspace. So he commences to try to give me a hug. Anyway, he gives me the keys. So I get my car too. And I go drop my car off at home. My mom trails me. And then we go and hide his car somewhere. He's calling my grandmother. He's calling everybody. Everybody's saying they don't get into it because they already know that I'm not okay. So they know he's done something to cause all of this. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking he's going to find his car. I really did think he was going to find his car. It's like a few days before his birthday. And he he doesn't find his car. So he goes to call me and threaten me, and I don't remember, at some point we are talking on the phone and I'm saying I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, he's telling me how he's going to call the police. He calls his uncle, who happens to be a cop. It turns out that he can't call the police, and his mom ends up calling me to tell me he can't call the police because he has a warrant out for his arrest. And if he calls the real police, they're going to arrest him. Anyway, but since he called his uncle and his uncle was in the police force threatening me, I called into there. I wrote a letter because I'm smart like that, and it was out of his jurisdiction. Got his uncle put on leave of absence for interfering, and they anyway was like, oh well, now that you brought this up and you have an active warrant talking about him, we're going to go and try to arrest him. He is trying to get his car, find his car. I get worried he's going to find his car, so I call that in as stolen as well. And he can't find his car. Anyway, I think several months go by and before he finds his car. And yeah, he gets pulled over and almost arrested in his own car. And the warrant he had barely cleared up. It turns out the car was in his non-girlfriend, whatever, one of these girls he was talking about name, and she was paying for it for him, and it was a whole big mess. I joke and say that, you know, me and Fate have a connection, and she usually helps me out because I couldn't have even. When I took the car, literally, you know, you think, oh, the way the situation worked out was so perfect. But you think like, oh, Magnificent pre-planned all of this and it worked out so well. And oftentimes, if I ever tell more of my stories, which I shouldn't be telling, you think that like I had this all planned out. And normally it's a small piece that's really planned out. And the rest, Fate just like sprinkle some fairy dust on. So, yeah, I only was planning to teach him that you can't snatch my keys and keep me locked out and try to take my car from me by taking his car. And the whole thing kind of grew. But the fact that he had the warrant, that it wasn't even his car, that the repo, it was just a mess. But yeah, he literally almost got arrested. I think he actually got put in handcuffs over his car. It was his. So, yeah, it was fun. Really great. Literally could have got arrested for not stealing his car. But yeah.
Listen.
Just a fun little fact. So, but yeah. So crazy me. I matured a lot. I was early 20s. I wasn't even 22 yet. So, but yeah, she's still in there somewhere. So people shouldn't try me.
I think depending on, listen, y'all, and y'all who are my viewers, y'all let me know. I think what I may just do is I may make Magnificent a every so often co-host of the Real Talk podcast so that I can add a segment just before the banter that we're going to call Story Time with Magnificent. And let her just tell a story or two before we end an episode. Because you can't end on a better note than a story like this. This is the stuff Hollywood scripts are made of. So y'all let me know if I'm tripping, if y'all would like something like that, and I'll work it out with my good friend where we can get this in. Because yeah, I think story time with Magnificent on the Real Talk podcast should be a thing. I think so. I think that is absolutely something that should happen.
Yeah, we're still friends though. So you know, think about how
that's what makes it even better.
I had to be a really good person.
Or
crazy as shit.
no, or he's just too scared. See, I would rather have he was a friend than an enemy. So let me make sure I keep you as a friend, because if I don't keep you as a friend, I don't know what may cause you to become an enemy of mine. So yeah. Yeah, you know this. Everybody else don't. So, you know, because I'm sure Hannibal Lecter had friends.
You done made me Hannibal Lecter. I can't be mean. Look, I got a mean streak. But yeah, that was funny. Really did happen.
So I think we're gonna make Story Time a Magnificent thing. I really think that should be a thing. So y'all, I appreciate my good friend Mag for hanging out with me. I promise you we're gonna do this again. I got some more questions. She's got tons of more stories. A lot of these I know, so I know she's got tons of stories for you. I promise you. And they get crazier. And listen, what we gonna do the next times around? So I was being nice this time. What we gonna do next time around when we get her on? We gonna be a little more explicit. So this may have to be the Real Talk interview after dark, much like the pick your poison game. Cause yeah. Oh, she got some stuff. And then we gonna invite Philonda in to even react to some stuff she ain't never heard. And then we gonna invite Scott in, cause that's gonna make it even better. Oh, I got plans. So yeah, I want to thank my good friend Magnificent for hanging out with me, telling her stories, telling her truth, talking with me, having a blast. Her and I haven't been able to have an exchange like this in years. She busy, I'm busy, so this was also fun for me. I told y'all the interview is more for me than it is for y'all. These are people I enjoy talking to, or I find funny, or I find interesting, until I am on a big enough platform where I have to interview people I don't care about. But right now, I am there, so I get to have fun with my friends. So, once again, thank you, Miss Magnificent. Thank you all, everyone who's checked this out. Please do me a favor and subscribe to the Real Talk YouTube channel at youtube.com/Real Talk, or you can subscribe to the Real Talk Podcast Facebook page. I don't remember the link, so just look up the Real Talk Facebook page, and you'll see the logo that's sitting right next to Magnificent right now. You'll see that logo. When you see that logo, you got the right one. So it's been great. It's been wonderful. Y'all know what I always. Oh yeah, and just as another quick shout, just because I mentioned earlier, check out my good friend Lex the Visionary on Spotify. Check her out on YouTube. Please check out her project, The Lotus Project, and trust me, the last time, Friends is the one everybody's touting, but the last time, that's the one you want to hear. Y'all know what I always say at the end of every episode. Do yourself a favor, no matter what you do in life. Always keep it real. This has been a Real Talk Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk, Real Talk. This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk, Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk, Real Talk. This is Real Talk. Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk, Real Talk, Real Talk.